That's so.
That's right. We'll go through it anyway. Okay.
That's so exciting, and it's so amazingly attractive.
Yeah, you're not laughing now, are you?
Yeah. Oh, mate, it was going all so well until I turned the light on, and it went like this. It went, oh. It made a tone. It went, oh, and it's so hot here. What is it? 33. Now it says 33, but that's outside. I've got 2 walls of windows, so it's probably about 35, 36. I'm not complaining, but my hands are clammy. I say my hands, but every part of me is really clammy. It's gross. And I thought, what am I going to do? I haven't got a light. And so I tried a few different. This is when everyone I say everyone, John Palmer, really, in the chat was going, come on, that's 5 minutes and counting. It was 1. But I was running around trying to find a light. And then I thought, hang on a minute. Thank you, Dave. That was very kind. I saw that come in while I was running around looking for a light. Let me just find it. There you go. Nice one, Dave. So I was running around looking for a light, something so you could see me, because it's like 8 o'clock here. It's pitch black. I even tried to set this torch up as like a migraine. I'm hoping to do a few hours here. If there's people still here, I'll do it. It's been a while since I streamed, so I thought I'd do a long one. I'll do the bit that the thumbnail's about, and then maybe we'll get some guests on. Fuck about. I sent Packer the introduction, but it would appear he's busy or doesn't want to do it, which is absolutely fine. Thank you, Dave. Manny Moo on the firm, 44 months. Wunderbar, absolutely wunderbar. Nice one on that, Manny Moo. Scory, superb, a little bit of grease, and I'll tell you what, they do need greasing. Check this out. Nice one, Scozzer. Nice one, Anglo. Afternoon to you, me old mucker, as well. Lovely. You working today? The butchers work at weekends, I suppose, because you've got to have stuff ready for. Do butchers sell fresh meat, or is it prepared, frozen, defrosted, and sold? Just something I'd like to know. Nice one for that, Scory. Nice one for that, Anglo. Nice one for that. JP's been on the firm 32 months, which is also absolutely wunderbar. Right, I'm slowly calming down now. It's amazing what a few quid I do. I was in a proper panic though, because I was thinking, hang on, if I can't light the stream, there's no stream. But I finally got it. Then the vape broke, and I thought, hang on, nah, can't. I would have cancelled the stream, but I got it working. I dropped it a few times. That's how you have to get it. But you have to keep the atomizer on it, or it doesn't work. Now this is very tough Pyrex, but it will occasionally break. But I dropped it about 5 times, and by the 5th one, it came on. Which means it might at some point explode in my face. And I'll tell you what, those, I've got a few of them around, so I tried a few. Those Li-ion batteries, they pack a punch. Like, a lot of people don't know, but most laptops are powered. You know, your battery you get looks like that, looks like a flash black box. Well, it's just full of Li-ion batteries. There's a couple here. It's usually got about 8 of these in it. I remember ripping one open once and using the batteries from a vape years ago. So you might see me get my face torn off, which that's always exciting. We'll wait for a few people to get here before we get into the guts of the show. Let's say some hellos. This never works, does it? Nearly 9 years this channel's been operating. I worked out the other day. And I never get this hello thing never works. Hello, Anns. Hello, Ellie. Lovely to see you. Hello, Linda. People there. This is why it doesn't work, because I do this. I hope you're all right, darling. Eleanor is an anomaly because YouTube don't help me at all. My channel stays at around, I think it's 19,300 or something like that. Hang on, let me have a look. 19,400, but it will go down 100 and go up 100 every sort of month, because YouTube only tell you when it's 100. You can go into the analytics, but fuck all that. But Eleanor is actually she's not new anymore, and she's fitted in perfectly. But weird to get someone new on this channel. Isn't it amazing? Even Horus pointed it out to me. This tab is using your camera and microphone. Oh, that's very kind of you for pointing that out. I appreciate that. Whatever part of my computing processing power. Explain that. Dawn Brown, in 28 months, I reckon you could quadruple that. Hello, Dawn. Dawn was calling me out on Twitter, and you're not going to like it, Dawn, because we are going to be talking a little bit about Nvidia. Excuse me. Not because we're talking about stocks, but Nvidia is at the heart of the AI. Excuse me. Jensen Huang, the president of Nvidia. If you don't know, I don't know where you've been, but Jensen Huang, the president of Nvidia, they make chips, right? They make computer parts so that you can run your games and your AI. He said on the earnings call that put a $940 stock up to $160, if I remember rightly. An earnings call. Like their earnings have gone up something like 240%. They've done it again. It's madness, but that's at the center of what the president of Nvidia called. Thank you, Dawn, for your support. Of what the president of Nvidia said is the next industrial revolution. And he said that, and when he said it, I didn't go. I had to sit up till like 4:30 in the morning to wait for this earnings call. And when he said it, I thought, yeah, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly what's happening. Like, I've got people say to me all the time on Twitter, they go, all that AI shit is just hype. It's just like people trying to take over Google. Without AI, there's no Google. Without AI, there's no Meta. Without AI, there's no Microsoft. They all buy from Nvidia. And Nvidia have made a moat around themselves because they've built like a complete ecosystem. Like, they've got a new chip coming out this year, the Blackwell chip. And that they've said that already demand is, they can't supply the demand for their new chip. But their new chip will slot nicely into the old system. So what they're doing is they're making themselves the beating heart of the AI revolution. And when people say to me it's all hype, I'm like, no, because with AI, hype come after the event. It was already done. It's already happened. It's already the new world. And over the next 4 or 5 years, we are going to see a profound and radical change in the way we do pretty much everything. Everything. Yeah, I know that sounds weird. I mean, okay, maybe having a plop will probably be much the same. But I know it sounds weird, but there will have been AI involved in what got you into that situation, and how many rolls of tissue paper on your thing, and the design of the bowl, and all these things. You know, it's not a question of AI won't take over. It already has, and it's done it covertly because they're fucking clever. I mean, this is how I look at it. In terms of major changes in the history of mankind, right? Tools. You know that famous scene at the start of A Space Odyssey where that simian, I don't know what it is, a gorilla, monkey or something, he's sitting there all bored and he picks up a bone and he starts hitting this skeleton of another simian. And he thinks, hang on a minute. That's tool use. That's a major step in the evolution of humanity. Tool use. Because now he's got like 14 inches longer reach. It's also harder than his, hands. I mean, anyone who's had street fights will tell you, you never punch people in the face with your hands. You can kind of get away with it around the ribs and that, but you just break your knuckles. People who come out of fights, even if they've won, your fingers, look how delicate they are. Look how delicate they are. Look. You don't want to be crashing those. And I know because you've been playing computer games, you think you're going to get that lovely just on the chin or that lovely temple shot. But you're not. He's going to lean his head forward and you're going to punch that massive, thick lump of bone and your fingers are going to go. Now, I'm not advising violence. It should always be a last resort first. But throat, weak. That part of your hand, strong. Bosh. You can kill someone like that, though, so don't do that. But a lot of people think that boxers wear oh, sorry, I'm getting messages from Bally G of all people. Nice one, Sin. Money for the replacement. Yeah. I tell you what, that might actually happen. Imagine looking back at this video, this little bit I'm doing now, when that happened. Like, I'll do a GoFundMe. I need 25 grand to have a nose. It's just come up my thing telling me that I might have computer issues. If it starts going wrong like it did on the Teddy Dutton stream, I'll have a little 5-minute break and I'll reboot my router, because that was, what a terrible shame that was. Nice one, though. Sin. Is it sin or skin? It's skin, isn't it? I don't know. Help me out. But I'll put that in the replacement face box. Thank you all. That's very kind of you. Very generous in the first sort of 13 minutes of the stream to add a few donations. Check this out. On Thursday, I was talking, we had a little business meeting, and I've suddenly realised I had to get $40,000 together by tomorrow. And tomorrow's a bank holiday. I was like, oh, that's a bit of a problem. Done it. Absolutely done it. And I'll tell you what, entrepreneurs take a lot of risks, but it was weird how I just thought, you got two options here. You don't do it, and then that's going to cost you a fortune and, damage business, or pull it out of the bag. But before we get into what this video is about, and it's lovely to see loads of scrubs there, all the OGs in. Good to see you, JP. Good to see you, Crow. Crow is working apparently and won't be saying much. Crow's always in the chat. Nice one, Dave, for sharing it. Sharing is caring, as I said to you already. Look at that. Look, let's see if there's a time. He said that at 7:39 my time. Oh, JP, I've got you round the wrong way, haven't I? You were saying 5 minutes to go. Oh dear, massive apologies. Apologiniti. How weird that I should take that. Hello, Kajetel. How are you? Kajetel says, I must regrettably inform you that you had the chance to be on time and heterosexual, yet you squandered it. Sorry. Sorry, I'm pansexual. Fancy Pam Ayres. Pamsexual. That's my new joke. Hello, Baz. Yeah, I got that completely around my neck, John. Anyway, there you go. There's me hellos that I never do. Hello, Bill. The blogs is on the firm. I will refresh entropy several times. Here's how the grift occurs. This is a good one. This is the one where I get less money taken off of me. You just put your camera phone over that and it will give you a link. And it's easy from there. Super chat is, you know how to do a super chat. That's at the bottom of the chat. And then entropy is at the top of the chat. There you go. Did he fall off his chair practicing the sliding? No, I just pressed the button of the bit from the Craze film. Instead of pressing it once to play it, because I was strung out, my hands were shaking. And when I tried to press it once, I pressed it twice. So it started and stopped. And I was just sitting there going, not ideal. Before we get, hang on a minute. Who was talking about how Dangerfield survives? Hello, October, long time. Blog says that is called a sea strike. What, that one? Oh, it's got to be your go-to, isn't it? You know, you can walk home without your fingers snapped off. No, I know it was a bit. Don't fight people. You know, I did actually give it. It's lovely to see 70 people here on like a Sunday afternoon. Amazing. Yes, Caravaggio. I don't recognise the name, so maybe you're new here, or maybe I've just forgotten. But if you are, let us know, and everyone will say hello to you, which is always nice. But I did warn you, you can kill someone necking them with your sea strike, so don't do it. But if you're about to be killed, there's choices to be made. Yeah, but, you know, best thing to do is avoid it in the first time. Hello, Oaks. That's why Ludwig always uses a sword. Imagine in the fucking car park of a boozer. Come on then, let's have it. Let's see what you got. Or a double-handed bastard. Softly on this violent night, from your head, your shoulders shall be departed. Good Lord. Nah, yeah, add that. I've got that. I've got a scar from that. Oh, showing scars. And also it's going to look so small on... Actually can't see it. There you go. There you go. Can you see it? Yeah, hang on. Hang on. See it there? Let's see if I can get it to focus. Hang on. There you go. There you go. Pulled half an incisor out of that. Not a fighter, though. Exactly that, JP. Well, they do, but they're this sort of knuckles. Well, I didn't expect it to go like this, but it is a lovely... Hang on, who did I see there? Red Pill Seeds on the firm. Eleanor says that my uncle was a badass bare-knuckle fighter, beat Barry McGuigan. Well, I don't know if you've helped yourself there. Nah, McGuigan was a good fighter. Only breaking your balls sounds wrong. Prior to being a world champion, that was amateur boxing. You should meet my mum. She'd give Tyson a run for his money. Good Lord, I've really started something. Got to be starting something. Got to your head up with your pretty Buddha eater. Marzipan. It wasn't long ago, like a day, because I knew I'd be streaming today. And I was thinking about it because I haven't streamed for a while because it's getting really hard out there. Why is it getting really hard out there? Because AI is allowing people who don't know what they're doing to set businesses up very quickly, very easily, lose a lot of money, but in the meantime, in the initial phases, fuck the market up for established businesses. And I thought, I haven't seen Ian for a while. I hope he's all right. So good to see you, Ian. And while I'm saying good to see you, Ian, Ludwig says it, and so does Emma G. Emma. Hello, Emma. Dillich is on the firm too. Dr. Neil Rigger. Hello, mate. I'll tell you what, Linda, I'll tell you a story that's really embarrassing. I can play a bit of jazz trumpet, right? Which on its own, it's not Chet Baker, but it's not Miles Davis. It's me, right? And so it's a long way down the. Anyway, this is really cringe. You know, weirdly, I was thinking of this last night. I've got a bit of a throat issue because of the humidity and the heat. I've done a gig with a band. What do we call them, sir? At art school, you just do one-off gigs. You make up a band, you do it, and then you never do it again. It's not like, oh, we're going to get a record deal. You know, it's just for one night only. And we called it Roland's Bath after the French structuralist writer Roland Barthes, which is what I thought was hilarious. And I was the trumpet player. So we had an upright bass. We had an upright bass. Mumford on lead guitar. A bloke called Bruce on saxophone. What else did we have? I was on trumpet, bass. I think there was someone else making a racket somewhere. And it was free improvisation, right? That means when you go to the student bar to get pissed and pull a bird or a man, you don't want that racket going on for 2.5 hours. Now, this is cringe. I'm sharing a proper cringe with you here. And I'm not telling you something that was cool. I'm telling you something that was jank, that So I'm there. So the band sort of play. Now, when you're free improvising, it's not just a noise. You do get into the odd groove, you know. So the bass is sort of going boom, 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 boom. Oh yeah, drummer. That's who I didn't mention. So, and the drum sort of kicks in. And then Mumford will be going. Yeah. All lovely, all bit. Right. And so the band was going for it. And I think there was a drum solo. So, and again, it's improvised. So no one sort of said, oh, this bit, do a drum solo. So the drum was just going. And I was wearing a waistcoat and nothing underneath it because I thought I looked like Miles Davis on the cover of We Want Miles. I'll share that with you so that you can see how gross it was. You got to remember, I was like 19. That's the album. I don't think I need to show you that. I think you can understand what a bloke in a waistcoat, but like proper scrawny drug addict waistcoat. And while this drum solo is going on, I walk out the back of the bar. Now, where the bands played in that bar, the door was right next to the band, so they all saw me while the drummers going, like, you know, jazz solos. They're really annoying. I've walked out and everyone's seen me with my horn. I'm steady. I've sort of walked out and everyone's probably thought, oh, where's Chris gone? You know, I was quite well known. Well, everyone knew me at that college. There weren't a lot of people there, so it weren't hard to be known when you'd fucked all their girlfriends. And what I'd done with it was, now this is what done it. I quickly sprinted round. Now, when you're playing a wind instrument, steady, you don't want to be sprinting, and you've already done 30 minutes on the horn. This is endless innuendo. It's ridiculous. I've sprinted round, and so that I've come in the back of the bar. So everyone who's watching the band, they can't see that I've come in behind them, but the band can, because the band are facing the other way. So the drummer's still going, dish, 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 and then the bass sort of comes in. Then it all stops. And I'm going to bring us all back in, right? But it's improvised, so it's not like we know what we're going to do. But they can see me, and I've clocked them all, and I'm sort of going like this, 4 bars. Let's just do 4 bars, and then I'm going. And when they all know that they're going, right, it sort of goes stops, and everyone sort of looks and thinks, okay. And I shit you not, I go like this. And I haven't got the lungs to go for it, so I think just do something light and mild. And this is exactly what I played. After this really cool, funky kind of jazz improvisation. And everyone's like turning around like, is he playing the theme music to Coronation Street? And I think you ain't got many choices here. You either what do? You quickly change it, and it's like, yeah, sorry about that, but I just thought, nah, man, I'm going to crack on with it. So I just went, and the rest of the band joined in, and the band went, doom, 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 doom. I went, and I'll tell you what, I was talking to Paul about that the other day. I went, that is so cringe. And he went, nah, man. He went, it was cool as fuck. I went, no. He said, imagine me doing it. And I said, yeah, cringe as fuck. Like, I just wouldn't. I mean, that's being young, isn't it? You think, yeah, I'm cool. I'll be able to pull that off. Fuck knows where that come from, though. Well, it came from the theme music to Coronation Street. Of all the things I could have done, though, I could have gone. I could have done something really, yeah, boom, bam, 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 but I got dang, 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 dang. Nah. Right. I've got a short video for you, and I mean short, 12 seconds. Have I cheered up your Sunday? You know what, 42? That's 42. Hello, Barks. Nice to see you. Well, I did get a round of applause, but there was a couple of trumpet players who were like on the music course who were fucking, they could play their instrument, and they were sort of looking at me thinking, yeah, you didn't mean to do that, did you? But funnily enough, someone said to me, they said, because I'd been there 3 years by that point, and people have, hello, Lost Reaper, lovely to see you in a live. I'd played in loads of different bands, but most of them were like psychedelic rock, because it's easy and it's good fun. And after the gig, I was sitting down with a couple of lads, and one of them said words to that effect. He said to me, he said, weirdly, out of all the gigs I've seen you do, and I'd done gigs with other musicians where I'd have a keyboard with loads of guitar effects pedals, modulated delays, whammy pedals, just psychedelia, like Red Crayola. I wonder if I can get away with playing a little bit of Red Crayola. Probably truly the most. This fits in nicely, actually. Hang on. This is from the album, I think it's called The Parable of Arable Land. Hang on. Spaceman 3 done a cover of it. Now, you're going to think, I'll only play a few seconds of it. You'll think that I've fucked this up, but this is how the song is meant to go. And this was the stuff I used to play in bar bands, in the student bar. But when I was talking to these couple of lads, one of them, 42, said to me, he said, in a way, out of all the bands I've seen you playing, that was your most psychedelic moment. and you sort of get it. Do you know what I mean? You can sort of try and be psychedelic by making weird noises, but playing the Coronation Street introduction music, not so much. So yeah, it sort of made sense. Hello, Nyanthos. Good to see thee. Now, I'm going to play a bit of Red Crayola. This is a song called Transparent Radiation. If you know Spaceman 3, you'll know their version, but their version compared to this is quite poppy. Now, it is copyrighted. I will get a copyright match, but hopefully a few seconds. But check this out. Now, there's a reason I'm going to play you this, because Jason Pierce from Spaceman 3 and Spiritualized, he loves Red Crayola because they were an influence to him. But he said, Jason Pierce said that Buddy Holly's song, I think it's Slip Sliding Away. It might be, no, that's not him, is it? Slip Sliding, no. Fade Away, no. It's, oh man. One of Buddy Holly's songs, he said, is the most psychedelic, the most psychedelic songs ever made. But you wouldn't think it was psychedelic. But you know, there's a synchronicity going on here. Check out a little bit of Red Crayola. Hang on. Hold your horses. The Red Crayola, Transparent Radiation, share audio. So this is from the top, right? I'm going to mute myself. So this is how it starts. I'll play you about 10 seconds, see if we can get away with it. Fucking hell, man. And they've made albums and albums of that. Yes, 42. As I sung it, I thought, hang on, that ain't Buddy Holly. Lovely song, though, isn't it? I know you're near your destination, you know you slip sliding away. I wrote the lyrics of, well, I didn't write the lyrics to the song. I wrote the lyrics to a Simon & Garfunkel song. What is it? Homeward Bound. For my GCSE English, it said, write about loneliness. And I was right. I just rewrote Homeward Bound. Yeah, done all right. Now, Kajetels, thank you, Kajetel. Hoyt to that. I always appreciate a knock. Any thoughts on OpenAI versus Scarlett Johansson? Myself, I cannot understand how she could sue them. Voice does not sound at all that similar. Excuse me, because I've been working so hard. Thanks for the donation, really appreciated. I am not aware of that case, but I think all this suing AI, it's almost like a bit of a joke. You know, this is it's a bit like, you know, you photograph someone's building and they sue you. Or it's a bit like those African tribes that say a photograph steals your soul. It's just like, yeah, there's gonna be a few court cases for a while, but generative AI uses data sets. And what's a data set? It's the internet, it's data. So what? That's her voice. So if someone could do a perfect or a near perfect impression of her, she's going to sue them as well. I mean, it's like, I would imagine these people are doing it more for marketing and publicity than actually thinking they're going to win a case. I don't know about that case. Like I say, trademarking slightly different. I mean, my mate Jock, he does. He does all the, like the Batman and the Judge Dredd stuff for 2000 AD. That's his book, The Art of Jock. And if you put into, it's a lovely book though. Look, it's got all these transparencies in it. And some of them, if I can find them without them all falling out. So look, it's got the transparency and the colour under it. But I've got to be careful. He sent me that book, did he? The lovely bastard. And a couple of Batman ones. Very kind of him. Jock was the drummer in Household. Why am I telling you about Jock? Oh, yeah. So if you go on Midjourney and say, do me a picture of Batman jumping off a building in Gotham City in the style of Jock, it does it. And it looks like it's exactly Jock's work. Now, how does it know how to do that? Because it scans the data set, which is all the images it nicked off the internet. And it says, okay, this is Jock, this is Jock, this is Jock, this is Jock. It builds up markers. What defines Jock? You know, do a picture of Batman in the style of Jock. So what defines Jock? And it, you know, it'll kind of make a list. We're making a list. We're checking it twice, and it will build up a profile of what Jock's work looks like, and then obviously it will go and find Batman. Now, Batman is a trademark. That's intellectual property. You can't just go and release a Batman movie without talking to DC, is it? I think DC owned Batman. Fuck knows. They're more Marvel, probably DC. And also, that's Jock's style. But can you trademark a style? And so people can be knocking out comics and putting them on Amazon and that look like Jock drew them. You don't have to pretend and lie, because then you will get in trouble, because that's deceptive. But personally, I think that puts Jock's currency up a bit more, because people want it to be Jock, not AI. But anyway, Glass, I've got 2 emails to reply to you. I know they're in the wood. You give me that wood. The spiritualized gig was Glass went to a spiritualized gig, and they are very good live. I've seen them about, fuck knows, 20, 30 times. When you only like one band enough to go and see them live, you rack a few up. But a lot of them are at Glastonbury, and to be honest with you, it might as well have been the Bee Gees on stage by the time I got there, but still. Anyway, Glass says the spiritualized gig was amazing. I sent you a couple of video snippets. I didn't record much, too busy enjoying the moment. Yeah, I see a lot of people at gigs holding up their phones. What's that old joke? I mean, it's out of date now, but there's that old joke about the American tourists who went to London, and when they get back home to Boston or wherever, their friends say, how was your holiday in London? And they say, don't know, I haven't watched the videos yet. I mean, what would be the point, though? What would be the point? Like you say, you're there. Enjoy it. It's a gig. The only reason you'd video it is because we live in an era where you want to tell other people and show them, look, I was there. Look, here's proof. It's like, oh, well done. Well done for going to a gig. But I did appreciate the snippets, Emma, because I have read the email. And that's lovely of you for your donation. Thank you very much. One day I'll donate something nice to you. Oh, sorry. Oh, good Lord. We're having laughs of all sorts today, aren't we? Marzipan has been a member for 33 months now. I'm not having that. Probably more like 96 months. Nice one, Marzipan. Oh, another one comes in. Little Bullet, fuck me. Hello, son. Yeah, what a long time. Amazing. I hope you're well. I got a feeling you sent me an email saying you were ill, but I get a lot of them. I'm not minimizing those, but you know what the House of Scrubs is like. You know, broken biscuits, drug addicts, ex-drug addicts, alcoholics, ex-alcoholics, trauma victims, sick people. That's a great tagline to market a channel. Anyway, I want to show you this video. Thank you to everyone who donated this. I told you if there's people here and the grift goes on, I'll do 3 or 4 hours today. I'm up for it. I don't like not streaming. I've just had so much work on. I've had to, because if my business dies, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. Oh, hang on a minute. Did I just see Ellie say that I am? Hang on. I've just got to just check. Hello, Lartus. How are you, son? Oh, he asked if they could use her voice, and they said no. Okay, that's so they just 11 labsed it, cloned it, and used it anyway. See, she should have said yes. Kajetel says, I've got the same feeling it'll be a transitional period before it reaches acceptance. Yeah, but in that transitional period, it's already been accepted, just people don't realize. They don't realize that it's already affecting every aspect of their daily lives. But I see it like this: electricity, the Industrial Revolution, computing, internet, AI. And like I say, Jensen Huang said that Nvidia is the new industrial revolution. And that stock went up from 940 to 1,060 on an earnings call. I was sitting there going, I mean, I'm holding Nvidia stock that I bought a few years ago. I just wish I'd have bought about 100 more. Here, there you go. Ellie says, Dangerfield, you are my current favourite cartoon character. It's interesting. I see myself as like a serious, sensible, passionate, literary figure, and Eleanor sees me as a cartoon character. But you can be both. There you go. See? As I have managed to fail to prove. Thank you, Glass, for that. Oh, check this out, people. Did I tell you on the last stream, which was like a year ago? YouTube sent me a thing saying we've taken down your Hugh Cow video. Imagine them sitting watching that. We've taken down your Hugh Cow video because it goes against our community guidelines. And I was like, shit. I did tell you this before, didn't I? But they said, however, we're not going to give you a strike because we think you didn't know. What is this new world order of YouTube actually being a little bit sensible? Because I didn't know. I gave trigger warnings at the beginning. I kept saying, look, I'm just trying to look at human behavior. Yes, some of it is funny, but yeah, they said we don't think you're aware. Good. That's a little bit of progress, but I wouldn't worry about it. What's the next line, Baz? We're busy. Or have I got it wrong? Right, this bloody video. Anyway, Bullet, if I am right in thinking you were sick, I hope you're all right. Or I hope at least you're on the mend. Lovely to see. It's always nice to see a scrub come back. Yeah, without a doubt. Without a doubt. But I think I thought that would be a good series of videos after the bimbofication. You can't just do videos because you think they're hot. I thought it would be quite interesting to do a series of videos about fetishes. But obviously I won't be doing that now. But I might have to take down that bimbofication one just in case, because they might go, well, you knew this time. Community guidelines strikes again. Hang on, what, now live or on the Hugh Cow video are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about the Hugh Cow video. Yeah, it was quite, because as soon as you see your video has been removed, you're thinking you've got a strike. And I'll tell you the other thing about it, because that wasn't a content match, it was a communication, a community guideline, almost certainly someone grasped me up. They wrote to YouTube and went, I bet it was someone who's into Hugh cows as well. Like, I have a sexual practice called the Hugh cow, and this Dangerfield character, it would appear is some kind of drug addict, was taking the mickey out of it, which I think is awful. And I bet the people at YouTube were like, oh yeah, all right. Hello, Willow. Sorry, I got distracted before I said hello to you. Did you hear that? There's Tokai geckos in Phnom Penh, which is really rare. You get them in the provinces, but if a Tokai bites your nose or penis, you can't get it off. You have to go to hospital, or you have to chop the gecko in half. Imagine missing. Imagine being a bit drunk. Hang on a minute, I'll be all right. Glands. Glands. Mum, I got my glands in my hands. Where are we going? Right. Oh, no, thank you for that one. Skin, I still don't know if it's skin or sin. It's got to be skin, isn't it? I'm sure you probably said in the main chat, but I feel like I've got so much going on. Can't believe we've got 85 on the Sunday Arvo stream. It's lovely. Hello, 6079 Smith W. Lovely to see you. Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? I've never heard of that before. I've never heard of a video getting removed for breaking the rules. And then they said, but we're not going to give you a strike. I was like, what? It was almost like, no, you've got to give me a strike because it's wrong. I've been conditioned that much that I felt, no, there's something going on here. This is a long con. Right, this bloody video that I've been wanting to show you for hours. We haven't even gone to the main subject of this video yet. We sort of have. We're nearly an hour in. I can't believe that Emma hasn't given me a time check on that. Right, listen to me now. Let's get serious for at least do you? Lovely. What did work take you there, or did you just move out there? How's it going? Willow, I'll show you. Hang on. Tokai. Hang on. But round here now, every sort of like 20 minutes, I hear Tokai, 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 Tokai. But it's got this noise at the beginning that goes, I can't do it. It's sort of like, no, it's like, you know, when you get a ruler on a table and you ping it and then move it along. Oh, I might actually have the required. No, I haven't. And I'm not going to risk trying it with something stupid. Hang on, it might be a video. This geezer gets one on his finger. Like, they wake up in the provinces with them biting them and there's blood. Barclay said my mum's a Hugh cow. A dead Hugh cow at that, Barclay. Thank you. Right, hang on. But these sockeyes, they get nearer and nearer. Hang on. Let me get this over here. Right. Blogs, I haven't missed your entropies. Blog says this. You made me explain my joke. What? When? And made me realise it was bad. Sorry, deists. His Substack story title instantly sent me into an infinite regression stroke paradox loop. What's a Substack? Right, so as promised, God, this is getting complicated. You're such a niggling bastard. I love you and that, but I mean, anyone who's just turned up here is like, what language are these people speaking? Oh, hang on. There's another one from blogs. Blogs. You should be a blogger. a niggling kind of blogger that we also call a jogger. Oops. Whoops. Here we go. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Right. So let's get these in order. The niggler. So this is what the niggler said. Hello, John. I've just seen that come through. Very kind. This is going to be a long old stream. Yeah. Right. Hang on. Entire screen. I need 42 really to tell me how to work this fucking stuff. Oh, excuse my French. Here we go. Blogs. He says, you made me explain my joke. I don't know how I've done that, by the way, people. I have no idea what he's talking about. And made me realise it was bad. Sorry, deists. His Substack story title instantly sent me into an infinite regression stroke paradox loop. What's a Substack? Now, he's referring to my latest Substack, which is called The Boy Who Woke Up and Realised He Was God. Go and check it out. It could do with some more comments. Lovely story. Thank you so much for the people who commented on it. Some of those comments, as a writer, to be able to get a bit of feedback is lovely, especially when it's so nice. And this isn't me ranking people, but there's a few people on there who, and it's not always the same people, but they absolutely nail things. I think, fuck me, that's amazing that you noticed that, because I didn't magnify it. I deliberately didn't make it clear. Like what John Palmer said on that last one was, I think it was JP anyway, was quite incredible. Anyway, and then Blog sent another one, and he says this. This is another entropy from Bill. Damn, I'm mixing up martial arts, full stop. C-strike is probably the carotid strike. So down each side of your neck, you've got a carotid artery. And that's how you do a rear naked choke. You don't choke the throat. You stop blood getting either to, if you do the vein, or from, if you do the artery, or the other way round. He says, don't demonstrate. Just after I demonstrated it, the next line, don't demonstrate. Hello, Azdak. Good to see thee. The one you did had stupid names like Tiger Claw Arc Strike, Carl JB Chigi. Bill, are you or were you once a member of the Black Dragon Fighting Club? I can see you, what's his name, Dante, and Yoshida Kim. They all feature in my novel, by the way, that lot. Yoshida Kim's in there. Count Dante, that's it, the most dangerous man alive. He's got like that, the 50 something death touch. No, I just went like that. It's just that. And I said, don't do it. But thank you, Bill. You successfully managed to niggle there. I wouldn't have it any other way, because that's who you are. And who you are is who you should be. Thank you also for advertising my Substack. Oi, people, if you're watching now, give the video a like. I know it's asking a lot because you're writing in the chat, but when you give the video a like, YouTube might just send it to some other people. Like we do 2-3 hour streams, and after the stream, because I always forget to ask for likes, it's got like 5 likes. So when someone stumbles across it, they see that it was 3 hours long. They see that it got 5 likes, and that, like you and me would, they go, nah. So give us a like. Right. I'm going to show you some Tokai gecko bites. And you decide amongst yourself. They're going to be shorts, unfortunately. Such is the nature of the beast. Let me get rid of my little head. You might actually be able to see it. Here we go.
Please let go. Please let go.
That's a small one as well. Well, that's just a little bit smaller than average. So look at this one.
Here's my lizard, and it got me. Finally. Doesn't hurt.
Oh, there you go. Doesn't hurt.
Here's my lizard, and
I must admit, though, when I've seen them close up, why is the screen on my screen is about that big now? Ridiculous. I want to go back to the old setup. New layout. Oh, I've just disappeared now. Cancel. That's better. Now it's big again, but the new old layout. When you see them, they haven't got like fangs or anything. They're not like snakes. I think it's just a bit gummy, but they draw blood, so there must be something in there. So it's the Geico gecko. Oh, without a doubt, what a channel. I spoke to him. I spoke to Napoleon Blown Apart when he had about 10,000 subscribers. I said, man, please come on my channel and I'll just let you talk about the history of the MMA and the UFC. And he said to me, he said, if I could get over my what's the word? My debilitating shyness, he said, it would be an absolute pleasure. He said, I just haven't got the balls for it yet. Have you seen all of his, excuse me, what's that bloke he has here? And occasionally he drops it in. You want to fuck for free? You want to fuck me up the ass for free? You're like, what? And he loves that geezer that's got, what is it? Ian, what's he got written on his chest? That bloke, and he's Napoleon Blown Apart's hero of the UFC. Yeah, people, if you're into the UFC or MMA, which if you are, you probably already know Napoleon Blown Apart, makes some amazing videos. Some absolute, that's it. Look at that. That's it. The Just Bleed gang. It's amazing. He's got it written on his chest in blood. And he's like down by the side of the ring going, yeah. I'll tell you what he also done. Right, so fake ninja. Now, all ninjas are fake. Ninjas never existed. Ninjutsu was never a thing. Ninjas are based on the blokes who dressed in black, who moved things at the back of theatres. So it looked like, if you wanted to make it look like you had magic and you wanted this bottle to sort of float across the stage, you dress someone in black and it would look like it was floating across the stage. But Yoshida Kim, this fucking tiny little slither of a streak of piss bloke with proper cola bottle glasses, he's made a living out of, and this has been going on for 50, 60 years now, because I used to read about Yoshida Kim in Black Belt magazine, along with the likes of Count Dante. All this is in my novel. Don't ask me why. It doesn't make sense when you read it either. But Yoshida Kim sold VHS videos on how to be a ninja, like invisibility techniques. When you see the invisibility techniques, he just lays down. Like he's in a grass field in the sort of black ninja outfit, and then he just lays down. I mean, that's not really invisibility. I mean, at a push, it's hiding. And the other one is to throw sand in the eyes of your opponent, which admittedly would work. But I think when you saved up all your pocket money to buy the Yoshida Kim Ninja Tricks Volume 1, you want more than a, stage 1 playground knowledge, throwing sand in someone's face. Oh, no, amazing channel. Great call, Kajil. Interesting stuff from around the world. He finds like weird YouTubers whose channels went like this. Wow, this is great. Yeah. And they end up like killing themselves, someone else. Yeah, very, very good. I haven't found the last. I think he's running out of content, but the first sort of 7 or 8 were brilliant. The last couple I thought went on a bit long. But he's got a lovely character about him, hasn't he? At the beginning, he goes, interesting. Hello, people. How are you? All right. Yeah, good channel. If you haven't, I think I shielded it on this channel a couple of months back. Interesting things from around the world. It's a good channel. No, it's bullshit. It's not a real thing. It's not like samurai or anything. Bill's about to tell us it is. Feel free. I'm up for the debate. Oh no, there you go. Yeah, I have seen Yoshida Kim on his channel. It's too good, man. You know that Count Dante though, they had proper dojo wars. I think it was in New York. It might have been somewhere else in America. And they done, you know, like Fist of Fury, not that version, the Bruce Lee film, where the dojos would fight. If you don't know, a dojo is a place where you practice karate do, and you have a different school in each dojo. And in all those old Bruce Lee films, like pre-Enter the Dragon, like the Big Boss 2, Fist of Fury, all that lot. It's always, not always, but there's sort of kind of different fighting schools fighting each other. Well, Count Dante, who called himself the deadliest man alive, with his dim Mac death touch, it's so nostalgic for me. I would read that Black Belt magazine thinking, oh, if only I could afford the Count Dante's dim Mac death touch book. I'd be, you know, imagine at school being able to do the death touch. Well, they actually had dojo wars where they turned up at another karate school and killed someone. yeah. They turned up. It started off, what, boy, and then someone just got like a lump of wood and went, ridiculous. Right, now, that has segued me back to the video I've been talking about showing you for the last hour. You look at Putin riding a horse with no saddle, which is kind of cool. I didn't want to say bareback. I don't want to accuse Putin of riding a horse bareback. No top on, a strong figure, a leader of a country, a leader of a nation, a leader, an inspiration of a people. Whatever you think of him, that is his image. They look at him like that. Even if they don't support him, he's like, he is fucking tough as fuck, right? Now, let me tell you so. Well, let's watch the video first. This is Keir Starmer, right? The Labour turd. And if anyone thinks that Labour are going to do any better at fucking up the UK than the Conservatives, trust me, they will be far, far worse. Have a look at this. And just behold the incompetence. So they thought it would be a good idea to take Keir Starmer down to a gym, not like a weightlifting gym, but a boxing gym. And there you go. He's got an heavy bag. He's got some, what are they? 8-ounce gloves, 10-ounce gloves. Doesn't really matter. You know, and this is why this is what I was talking about earlier. You wear gloves in boxing, not to protect the opponent, but to protect your fingers, because they're very delicate. If you haven't seen this, you are not going to believe. I mean, it's so weird. Watch this. Watch the and if you haven't seen it, prepare to be blown away of the incompetent. Anyway, I can't say more than the video will show you. I'm going to have to set it up again because I forgot to put the audio on. Hang on. Right, it's 12 seconds long, but it may well be the 12 seconds that doesn't get Labour in power. Watch this. Ready?
And just try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again, that's it. And again, try and breathe. Relax. I've looked back up. What a pair of gloves. Walking into PM keys.
I come from, right? If you're a working class kid, even if you've never been to a gym, even if you've never had any training, you know how to throw a punch, you know how to jab, and you know how to hook, and you know how to cross. You know how to keep your elbows in. You know how to. It's just basic. That man has never had a fight in his life, and if he has, he ended up on the ground, like when the opponent just flicked him on the forehead. Let's have a look at that again and just wonder. It's just so humiliating. Why did they do that? Have a look again and just marvel at it. I've watched this video about 100 times. I just cannot believe it. Here we go, people. A leader of nations.
Just try and whack it. Yes, this is good. And again. That's it. And again. Try and breathe. Relax. That's it. Have a look. What a paragraph.
I mean, what he does, if you watch it a few times, he sort of, nah. But once he's made contact with the bag of his, he then pushes the bag. So say this is the bag. He sort of goes, nah. Jesus. Can you imagine Putin there going bang, 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 boom, 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 boom. Starmer. Even Boris Johnson. Do you remember when they had that football match and he rugby tackled someone? I was like, well, at least he's showed some balls. No. Does the bag hit back? No. What an embarrassment. And that would have gone around the whole world. Can you imagine, like, South Americans who, if you can't fight, you die before you're 14 years old, watching that and just going, wow. Just shocking. Just go away. Get out. There you go. Yeah, I'll put it up on X. It's just, why would they do that? Johnny Boy diffused. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. Was up? No way. Did you see the bloke who... There's a bloke up there. Well, let me read the rest of your message because maybe you'll mention it. Hi, mate. Hope you're well. I was up Lesney's Woods earlier in Abbey Wood, where my dad grew up. I'm a Dartford boy, of course. I missed your streams, mate, as D. I don't know what that last bit means, but yeah. There's a bloke up Lesney's Woods. So you come out the train station, you go the opposite side of the travellers' site. Is that where you mean? That it's all green and then there's some woods up the back. There's a bloke up there, well, I'm going back about 10 years now, who will suck your willy for, like, well, sometimes it's a $5, sometimes it's a $10. And he's got a bouncer with him because too many junkies sort of done him over. You know, you turn up and go, do you want to suck my willy for like a $10? And they go, $5. And you go, no, it's got to be a $10. Then he gives you the 10 and you just dead butt him and run. So then you'd go up there. Well, some people would go up there. There's this fucking monster of a black geezer there. And you'd be like, and then they'd say to you, are you looking for a bit of work? You know, look at work. Well, I suppose it is. Yeah, but it ain't you, is it? I was looking for the other fella. And then he comes creeping out the bushes. But in fairness, the man in the woods and Dirty Lynn. Dark days. They've taken Lesney's estate down, though, haven't they? That Tavy Bridge and all that's gone. What a terrible shame. Nice one, John. Little Bullet. I like a bit of Usek seen as a Cossack. Yeah, they play on all that, don't they? What's the I can't remember his name, which is weird. Marzipan will tell us. The MMA geezer who was trained as a kid fighting bears. And there's actual footage of him. Like, he's 5 years old and a bear, he's fighting a bear. Now the bear's a baby bear. He's not like a 8-foot grizzly, but nonetheless, imagine Keir Starmer. He'd have trouble with a teddy bear. Nah. Thank you, John, for that donation. Thank you, Skin, for that one. Thank you, Bullet. Thank you, Bullet again. Anglo's dropped to 10-bit. Sleepy Joe can't talk and sniff kids. Putin did karate, goes hunting and fishing and riding horses bareback. I know. It's this nice one, Anglo. This might be, this might be the transition into the actual subject of this video. Because the West has gone, the West has crumbled, the West is in bits. I don't think people are going to get their pensions. Someone told me the other day that that they've raised the age of the UK pension to something like 75. Can anyone confirm that? Nice one, Anglo. Much appreciated. To all of you as well. Everyone who's donated. Loads of them have come in. I'll just refresh entropy. And then I will also check the old buy me a beer. I can just leave that window open. You didn't need to know that. Whoa. Right, where are we? Yeah, it's just so embarrassing. You've got people like Biden falling upstairs 3 times. Oh yeah, great. You've got Boris just being a transparent Etonite, and then that Keir Starmer nonsense. It's just this is where we're at. There would be complaints. Thank you, Anglo. There would be complaints if a Western ruler actually started being strong. Because that's not strong's not good. Weakness is good. because the utopia that's just around the corner, just a little bit more. They don't want people being stronger than other people in any way, intellectually, financially, sexually, in any way. And because we all know you cannot raise everyone to the top, well, you've got one option left. Everyone has to go down to the lowest common denominator. And that means we all end up liking to party, if you know what I mean. It's, wouldn't it be amazing if someone stood for Parliament who done BJJ or something, who was like a Muay Thai fighter? And on their campaign videos, they were actually there in the ring fighting, like, gosh, head kicks, kneeing the other bloke in the stomach, taking a few elbows. You'll be like, this is more like it. Give me a fucking leader. These ponces we've had. Look at Cameron. Yeah. John Major, spitting image made in black and white with his pants on the outside of his trousers. And everyone understood it. That's what was amazing about that. He was in black and white. He was that dull and boring, and weirdly, this might be a bit controversial, but weirdly one of the better of the Conservatives of the era. But he was in black and white with his pants on the outside of his trousers, the sort of idiot who wakes up in the morning, what week is it? Hello, Matilda. And then he's forgot to put his pants on. So rather than take his trousers off, he pants in English are underpants for our American brothers and sisters, just pulls them on over his trousers. And that, I don't want that. I want strong leaders. I want leaders who get up on the microphone and go, "Eins fight." Bist du ein Merchant? Right. Where are we gonna go from here? Right. I want to give you a little bit of advice. Right. And I will keep this short. So most of you all know, and I have to go back to Nvidia before I get onto the AI stuff. They done their earnings call and the stock went up about 100, 944, 100, yeah, about $100 a share. So an Nvidia stock at the moment, I think, because after market, the price still changes because some people can buy when the market's closed. But what they're doing a stock split. So because Nvidia shares will likely on Monday be about 1,050 or $1,060 for one share, what they do, because that means loads of people can't buy them. I mean, who's got a spare $1,100? And even if you buy one, it's like, that's quite a big risk for, it might go up 300 quid this year. It might go down 200. So, so what they do is called a stock split, a share split. So if you own one Nvidia share, let's call it $1,000 to make the maths easy. You're now, I think it's June the 7th it happens. If you've got one Nvidia share, you'll now have 10 shares, but their value will be $100 each. So you had one that was worth 1,000. Now you've got 10 that are worth 100 each. So you haven't got any more money. You've got more shares, but they're worth a tenth of. It makes sense. The reason they do that is because a stock that's 100 quid, well, there's a few more people, retail investors. There's two kinds of investors: institutional, so they're all the big hedge funds, and retail, the likes of you and me. I apologise if there happens to be any institutional investors watching this. I'm going to guess there isn't. Let me just have some water. The old nodules are going, and if this is going to be an endurance. So the idea being that once you reduce the price of one stock, other people can invest in it. So the chances are people will, after the stock split, someone who couldn't afford £1,000 or £1,100 or dollars, sorry, can go, here, I'll grab 5 of them, and then so they can get 5. But because there's that big influx of buying, the stock does, it doesn't always happen, but it tends to go up. And with an anomalous stock like Nvidia, which is just blowing all the records out the water, and before anyone says, oh, this all happened with Cisco's telecommunications, this is completely different. Nvidia has made themselves almost a monopoly when it comes to CPUs and GPUs. They're also talking about self-driving cars now. But some of the technology that they're doing is incredible. It's really incredible. Now, I'm not a professional. This is for entertainment value only. Would I buy Nvidia stock at $100 a share? Yeah, I would. And I would sell it when it goes to 140. That's just my not professional. It is gambling. You're gambling. You can lose all your money. But I think in a diverse portfolio, 10 to 15% of your portfolio should be individual stocks. The rest of it, index funds, lovely. The Nvidia's new chip, the Blackwell chip, which replaces their old one, I told you this earlier, demand is already outstripping supply. The Magnificent Seven, your Googles, your Apples, your Teslas, your Amazons, your Metas, they've all come out and said they're buying Nvidia to make their services work. And people are saying, "Oh yeah, but soon AMD and other companies there'll be competition soon." Are you going to wait for them? If you're Tesla, Amazon, Alphabet or Google, whatever you want to call it, and Microsoft and Dell, I think Microsoft are, but Dell are building AI hardware into their laptops. So that's insane, because at the moment you're using AI software, but they're going to be using Nvidia. There's a reason for me telling you all this to get on to the next bit. The name of this video was I didn't put is in just because I didn't have space, but I think when Jensen Huang said that this is the next industrial revolution, I believe him. But I think what we're actually seeing, sorry, let me just get the chat back up. Hang on a minute. Nice one for that one, Anglo. Oh, you're confusing me. Why have you changed colour? Oh, yeah. No, and Anglo also said, my ex-mum-in-law had shares in Tate and Lyle Sugar, done really well out of it. That's the extent of my knowledge in shares. Anglo, you probably said it in the chat and I missed it, but do butchers freeze meat, or is it all fresh, cut and sold like that day? Or is there not one way of doing it? And, can you not tell? Nice one on the donations. Really appreciated. Very kind. Hello, Real. I take it you're a bit behind now, Anthos, but yeah, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Just nothing. I mean, like 13-year-old working class kids from Dartford would see that and they'd just say, you want to fight? Because you ain't doing. Children could take Keir Starmer. So embarrassing. So embarrassing. Anyway, where are we? What was I going to say? Yeah. No, BlackRock have released I get these confused. BlackRock have released a crypto ETF. An ETF is an exchange traded fund, but it's for these purposes it's much like an ETF, which is why the Bitcoin halving that we just had didn't do what all the other halvings have, because the BlackRock ETF already put the stock up before the halving. Yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I've got to say to that. Anyway, no, well, maybe Vanguard have done one as well, but the BlackRock ETF is the big one. I can prove that now just to make sure I'm not wrong. BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. There you go. Yeah, BlackRock. IBIT. BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF nears top spot after a 380 million buy. No shit. I mean, I don't know. Vanguard might have one as well, but the BlackRock one was the one that gets all the news. And now, look, I typed in BlackRock ETF, and nearly every listing is about Nvidia. Look, I'll show you. Look. So that's the one I'm talking about. Here we go. This is this. Right. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, no. No. Sorry, I couldn't even see what you were looking at then because I was reading it. Hello? Are we back? I'm on it, blogs. I've got a lot of things to do. Oh, sorry, Jeff. I got you. Oh no, you were wrong. It's weird. I mean, they will do. Vanguard will do. They'll have to remain competitive. Just at the moment, I don't know anything about the Vanguard ETF, so that's why I had to have a look. Blog says, right, hang on. He niggles, but he pays his money. He gets his moment of glory. It's only fair. Blogs, you know, I'm a bit weird about playing links on that I don't know what they are, but we might have a look. But it's a bit of a risk. Anyway, nice one, Bill. Much appreciated. We'll have a look at them right now. So Blogs, the niggler, has nicely. What's that? What, you want me to read? Hang on, it would appear that I've closed. Where's that gone there? Hang on. Give me a couple of seconds. Right, that's there. That can go back over there. We're back here. That doesn't need to be on there. That's the one we want. Bosh. What do you want me to do, Bill? What, you want me to read out that Taiwan supplies the semiconductors? Okay. Oh yeah, everyone, this is on Bill. Nvidia unveils new gaming chip with AI features, taps TSMC for manufacturing. That's Jensen Huang, the president of Nvidia. Yeah, but Bill, I can't really read that out because I'll tell you what, I'll put the link in the chat. If anyone's interested in something a little bit more in depth about Nvidia's gaming chips, there you go. I haven't Blogs, I'm on it. Have I? Did I miss? You put in 3, did you? Oh my God. And the other one, fucking hell, man. Niggler by name, niggler by nature. Don't worry, I'll get that one. I'll get that one next. But I'll put that link in the chat for no one to click. And then Blog says, after that, which is why the CCP are doing punishment military exercises completely surrounding Taiwan. Well, one of many reasons. Biden is another. Yeah, we covered that actually, Bill. They were the Chinese jets, bombers were literally flying from the Chinese mainland around Taiwan and back to China. And they were like doing them every hour. It's like, yeah, if we want, we can just sink you. Yeah, good call. But there is a problem with a demand for semiconductors. Does anyone here know what a semiconductor actually is? It's really, when you find out, my mate told me the other week, it's actually quite funny. Imagine you've got a bit of metal that's conductive to electricity, like most metals are, a lot of metals are, not all. But you don't want it to conduct all of the electricity. You want it to semiconduct electricity. And that's what a semiconductor is. Skin and tonics on the firm. Look at that. Just when I needed saving from the niggler. And there's another one in there. Okay. Let me see what Blog says here. He wants me to play a video, so I'll have a little. Oh yeah, this is actually quite a classic. I think it. So this one, people, I think everyone in the chat from England will know this. Do you remember when? I guess this is the one when John Prescott went out to do like a rally or something, and some bloke threw eggs at him. I think it's it. And old 2 Jabs Prescott. Now, in fairness, who would you have protect you if you had to? Starmer or 2 Jabs Prescott? I think that's going to be it. We will have a look because it is quite a funny old video. This is going back about 20 years, isn't it? It was big news in England, though, wasn't it? Oh, I forgot to put the audio on. Here we go. Sorry, people. You could not get this off of British TV. It was like round the clock. Here we go.
The Deputy Prime Minister got off his bus at Rhyl in North Wales and quickly realised that to reach...
He just said Rhyl, and the Rhyl is in the chat. Amazing. Prescott's, the newsreader just said, hello, Rhyl. That's it. Hello, Dax. That's it. You can tell he's got that big sort of big hair, big face. He in many ways, he's like a working class Prescott. Jeff is suggesting Prescott had a bit of boxing training. I don't know. He certainly got it in quick. If I remember rightly, they're lovely little jabs. All you want to do is prepare him for a hook or a cross anyway. Let's have a look.
Reach the local Labour club, he had to run the gauntlet of a group of largely countryside and fuel protesters. As he walked through them, a local man chucked an egg at him almost at point-blank range. John Prescott immediately swung round and landed a punch straight on his jaw. The man then wrestled the Deputy Prime Minister.
I've got to give it to him. What is impressive about that? That's just an immediate reaction. He didn't. What's the word I'm looking for? Someone in the chat tell me. There's a word I'm looking for. It's when it just comes naturally to you. You know, he didn't think, oh, what am I going to do? I've got egg on my face. He just bosh. And those two little jabs, yeah, that's it, Jeff. Good call. It was instinctual. He just set him up. And you've got to give that to him. Because would you do that, being the Deputy Prime Minister with all those people and all those cameras? Well, he didn't get a choice, did he? Because he just went, hang on, I'm under threat here. Bang. And you see that massive geezer just folded. I bet that protester, that was the last thing he thought would happen. Bosh. I remember Prescott done quite well out of that. Even on that shitty Guardianista of I Got News for You, they did have trouble mocking him because fucking right, someone chucks eggs in your face, you're going to give them a slap. Let's watch it again. Let's watch it in slow motion. I like the sound. It reminds me of LSDJ. Here we go. Slow-mo Prescott 2 jabs. Hang on a minute. Okay, now, why has it gone tiny again? No. Right, here we go.
Point blank range. John Prescott immediately swung round and landed a punch straight on his jaw.
I'm not a fan of John Prescott, but I am a fan of doing that. Why wouldn't you? Bloke's just thrown eggs at your face. That other geezer, he walked into the boozer the next day humiliated. He thought he was going to walk in there going, yeah, did you see me throw eggs at Prescott? And the whole boozer went, nah, but we see Prescott bang. And you went, nah. You folded like a cheap whore. Fucking idiot. Fair play to Prescott. I mean, not politically, obviously. Those were the days, eh? Those were the days. No, I didn't either. When it was slowed down, it was just the one right, but he set him up and then he put in the left. So, but I think they called him 2 Jags after that, didn't they? Because there was some big thing about, what is it? What they call it? MP's expensive. MP's expenses. That's Mrs. She knows I'm streaming as well. Hello, love. I am doing a YouTube. Did you know that? Yeah. How are you? Oh, I'm going alani. Okay. Knyom ad gain alani. Knyom gain Knyom YouTube bro hai by Maon. Deutsch nei, Knyom atgain alani. All right, darling. Yeah, you have a good sleep. Knyom yol. Okay, Knyom rowol alani. Knyom sralan on. Clang clang. Bye, love. Oh, I cut her out at the I love you. I'll be paying that, of course. Of course I am. Oi, Glass. When I first started, I only learned. I done a 10-hour crash course, and the tutor at the first lesson, no, the second lesson, he said, in the first lesson, he said, you won't learn how to speak Khmer unless you try. So when you go out, you speak Khmer. And if they don't understand, you just keep trying. He said, that's how you, he said, I can't remember what the exact line is. You don't learn Khmer by learning it. You learn it by speaking it. And then the second lesson, I said to him, I said, oh, check it out. I've been speaking Khmer in like shops and bars and that. He said, yeah, it's excellent, isn't it? He said, it's just like playing a guitar at like a party or something. And I went, yeah, just showing off. But I have had like, I sort of, when I was doing the lessons, it was just growing and growing and growing. And then when I stopped the lessons, it sort of flatlined for a bit. But over the last few months, it's gone up again. Yeah, and I'm terribly addicted to durian fruit at the moment. God, I've been eating so much of it, like half a kilo a day of durian. 6 grams of fat in 100 gram serving, and I'm doing like a kilo a day. 60 grams of fat, thanks. Right. Marzipan said, that's what I did in Holland. It starts off with hello and thank you. Yeah. It's cool though, isn't it? It's cool. When I was in Venezuela, they speak Spanish, and I was out there for about 8 weeks. And by the end of it, I couldn't speak Spanish, but when I went out there, but by the end of it, very basic conversational Spanish, you just do, because you've been doing it. And it's very similar to English, probably a lot more similar than Dutch. All right, hang on, give me a couple of seconds. I really want to get to this. Right, listen, before we get off the Nvidia thing, when you've got a bit of time, go on to Google, because I know there's a lot of free trade investors among you. And if you got that blurb off me, you do, stick with your index funds and your ETFs, but you should have about a 10 to 15% punt, on a single stock. Weirdly, my S&Ps are being carried at the moment by AI, because Nvidia's dominating the S&P. I think it makes something. I think Nvidia's making up something ridiculous, like 80% of the S&P at the moment. So if you're holding S&P tech, you're still doing well out of Nvidia. Anyway, when you've got a moment, go on Google, if you've got free trade or any other kind of stockbroker, a way of investing, and you're using your ISA, and type into Google, who supplies Nvidia? And you see what I've done there? Who's supplying Nvidia? Because Nvidia aren't making all their components. I think I already spoke about this at the beginning. I certainly put it on X. If you've got a pen and paper nearby or a phone you can type it into, grab it, and I'll give you the 2 that I've invested in again. I'll give you a couple of seconds to sort that out. And this isn't a tip. I'm not allowed to tip you because I'm not a professional financial advisor. But for entertainment purposes only, look up, and this is the ticker, $MU. That's it. And it's something like Micron Utilities or Micron something. And the other one is the ticker is $AMAT, and it stands for I think it's let me just check AMAT, because yeah, the company is Applied Materials. And since, when was that? 22nd. They were 217. Yeah. So, you know, it's like, you know, what's the saying? In a gold rush, sell shovels. And when Nvidia's absolutely blowing it all out, who's supplying them? Who do they rely on for semiconductors? Who do they rely on for silicon? Who do they rely on to polish? This is a real thing. They polish silicon chips so that they can put the next one on. And we're talking like a millionth of a micron, just because there's concern about air pockets. Oh, my mate, who used to be a hardware engineer, said that they don't really know how etching into silicon works. And I trust him. I trust him because he knows his stuff. Ian might know something about that. But they don't. He said they don't actually know how it works. And that's not that weird. But it's like paracetamol. They don't actually know how paracetamol stops pain. We're such a guess society. Right. This is what I wanted to tell you about. This is what the name of the video is about. The West is in real trouble, right? We've got, I think America reckon they've had 7 million people come in illegally. Now, you could probably double that. You could at least add another 4 or 5 million onto that. And that's the Democrats importing voters. And the problem with that idea, which is going on in Britain as well, as you know, now I know that the dinghies coming across the water looks bad, but there's a piss in the ocean compared with actual immigration. I know, you know, it looks, you just like, you know, why don't they pick them up and drive them back to fucking France? I told you a few months back, didn't I, that I use a lot of sea shipping because it's a hell of a lot cheaper than air shipping. But I lost a lot of, it wasn't money so much, it's hard to explain. On Amazon, if you've built up a regular supply of the product you're selling, you get that little badge that says Amazon's Choice. And that's fucking gold dust on Amazon. Because when someone goes on Amazon and there's the same product and there's 4 of them and one's got Amazon's Choice, that people will click that. When it's got bestseller on it, people will click that. On Amazon, Amazon's not like eBay where you just list your product and someone else can be listing it. On Amazon, there's a listing. So let's say there's a listing for this torch. And this torch does a normal light. It does like a flashlight and a strobe, right? Someone lists that. If you want to sell that, you have to put it on their listing. Now, so you might have 5 different people or companies, whatever, selling the same product, and they're all on that listing. Now, what Amazon wants the company or individual that's always got stock, that delivers the fastest, that's had the fewest bad reviews, the fewest complaints, has refunded and or replaced people with no fuss. They want them at the top. That's Amazon's Choice. That's the bestseller. And to get that, obviously, you've got to always have stock. You've got to do all the other things I just said. And that can take years to get under certain listings, and it costs a lot of money. You've usually got to be the cheapest of that product as well, because people will tend to go for the cheaper one to save 10 pence. That's how bad the cost of living crisis is. Now, my business had it all sweet. We had it all planned. We had to import about 60,000 of this product, because we were doing like 4,000 a month. They're only small, it's like a couple of quid product. But when you're doing that many of them, anyway, the ship, I think I told you this, but for those who don't remember or weren't here, the big cargo tanker container, whatever it's fucking called, that leaves port, and it's got loads of those cargo, you know, those, what are they called? You know what I mean? People live in them in Dartford. And that started sailing. So we're like, right, they've told us that's going to take 5 weeks to get to England, and then it'll be 3 or 4 days to get to the warehouse. And then a couple of weeks into it, they said, yeah, that's going to be delayed by about 3 weeks. And I'm like, no, because that 3-week delay, containers is the word. Thank you, Latas. Marzipan said boat. Container vessel, boat. And this is what the shipping company said to us. Nah, that's going to take a few weeks longer than we said, and you've already paid them. You're like, yeah, but I can't afford 3 weeks, because we won't then have the stock to give Amazon. When you say to Amazon, like, we need another 40,000 of those, and you have to send them the stock. It's called fulfilled by Amazon. When you're selling on Amazon, there's 2 ways of doing it. You can send the goods and deal with all the returns, or you can send loads of stock to Amazon and they do it all. You've got to pay them, so you lose a bit of profit, but it's less hassle, freeing you up to do more work and improve and scale your business. So, you know, it's a bit of give and take. It's a bit of delegation, essentially. And they were like, no, it's gonna be a few weeks late, and that will mean that Amazon will say to us, we need 40,000 by the end of the week, and we won't have them because the shipping company is going to take 3 weeks longer. And when I said, well, I didn't, my purchasing manager said to them, yeah, but why? And they said, because what's going on in Israel and Gaza, Africans are bombing the cargo boats. There you go, we got there. They're blowing them up, and pirates, basically pirates. This was in an email. I read it. Because of pirates on that northeast coast of Africa, I imagine. So we've got to take a longer route. The boat has got to take a longer route round. It's like, are you fucking joking? Why are businesses having to put up with pirates? I know it's present year and that, but what? And I'll tell you this. Do you think, now look, this is a serious question, all right? This is a serious question. If that country that was causing global commerce to lose, you know, that could be millions of pounds of that container going to England from the English markets, because you've got these African pirates, meaning if that was a country like Poland doing it, do you think they'd just let them get away? Do you think they'd send boats on different routes? Or do you think they'd threaten them with sanctions? You can't really threaten Africa with sanctions because they haven't got anything anyway. So once that's off the table, well, you'd start drone striking them. Yeah, there's the pirates over there. Once you've taken one of those pirate boats out of the water with very simple missile, no one else is going to do it. But you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. We know why. We absolutely know why. It's a fucking joke. You know, why aren't those boats being protected by military vessels that we've already paid for? I thought the military was there to protect things like a nation's commerce from things like another nation damaging it. You know, why don't they just mount some 50 cals on those container vessels? And when that piddly little pirate boat made out of a broken helicopter and a bit of string starts coming up to it, it's like, if you continue to approach us, we will fire. And then when they go, oh, I don't care, gone, problem sorted. But you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. I think it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The reason I said that is because it's all just happened again. So this time we made sure we give them a few more weeks, and it's still not long enough because there's more pirates. Fucking pirates! Oh, fucking Johnny Depp swinging onto the deck and nicking my fucking lockpicks. Madness, absolutely madness. Right, what am I going to show you just quickly? I thought I had a video. I'll tell you who I can't stand. Really don't like him. I mean, it doesn't keep me up at night or anything. Mr. Beast. You know, as a symbol of modern internet entertainment, he's like the Jeremy Kyle of YouTube. There's something very wrong about that man. And it worries me how many people love him. You know, how can you watch that? That's amazing, Kajetto. There you go. Yeah, if you can carry it, or a starving woman who lives on the street, if you can carry all this money that we keep piling on top, there's another $5,000, there's another $5,000. If you can carry it, you can have it and buy a house, and you'll be set for life. Oh, unlucky. Bye. The Hunger Games. Yeah, exactly. I mean, wouldn't it be better if he just went, yeah, I've made a load of money on YouTube, have it, or give it to some causes that can set things up for people who need help? But no, he wants the clout, doesn't he? Look at me. He looks like he's half pissed all the time. It is quite funny though that his business partner went trans and they're not getting on. His business partner's suddenly a woman, which is fine. I'm sure if you identify as a woman and put some mascara on, that's a woman, I suppose. Can't see anything wrong with that. It's absolutely bizarre. I'd love to show you a bit of this. Right, I'm going to show you a bit of this, and then this is going to be a long stream, people, so don't worry. That's a Kajetto, that's a great comment, man. Right, I'll just give Entropy a check, make sure blogs is all right. Oh, it would appear I've missed one from Anglo. I've recently learned the price of a buffalo in Pakistan is $150. Are you sure the Mississippi buffalo isn't a blag? No, it 100% is a blag. There was some geezer told me the other day that his new Cambodian bird, Nan's chicken farm got run over, and they need them for eggs and chicken. And she wanted $900 off him. He'd give it to her and all. I said, come on, man. Right. I've got to give you a bit of backstory on this. This is funny. I might get a copyright match, yeah, because this is someone else's content, but it's taken from a live gig, which means it isn't his content. It's 12 minutes, but it's really funny. But I just want to give you a bit of backdrop on it. It is a little bit like someone else's content, but I've been talking for 2 hours and I could do with a little break and drink some water, have a piss, comb my hair, scratch my balls and all that stuff. I've got to tell you who he is, though. There's a writer called Jerry Stahl. I've talked about him on here before. He wrote Moonlighting. Do you remember Moonlighting? Bruce Willis and beautiful woman, blonde hair. What's her name? Someone in the chat will know. The woman. I nearly had it then. I've just seen John Palmer and Bill's conversation. Amazing. That's it. Sybil Shepherd. Jeff's absolutely on the ball tonight. Marzipan wants 500 quid for his poorly grasshopper, his pet grasshopper. Right. So Jerry Stahl was a screenwriter, Hollywood screenwriter, really successful. Anyone about my age will remember that Moonlighting, Sybil Shepherd, Bruce Willis, that was the show everyone, it felt like everyone was watching it. Back in the 80s, before the internet and all that, one of the lovely things, like when Ange and Den Christmas special, you ain't got cancer. There's my divorce papers. Happy Christmas, darling. What made it excellent was you knew that the whole country was watching it. When you take that down, it's like, But Moonlighting, it felt like the whole world was watching it. But he also wrote Alf. Do you remember Alf, that alien life form, that sort of little furry sort of puppet thing? He was making bucks. He was a multi-millionaire, Jerry Stahl. And then one day someone said to him, "Well, have you tried crack?" The last thing you want to say to a multi-millionaire is, or anyone, but especially to someone with that kind of money, is, "Have you tried crack?" So Jerry Stahl goes, "No, yeah, let's have a go." Can we get some more? Right, so it started going downhill. When all the crack had run out, every time he done it, which after that first time was pretty much every night, everyone else would get their spikes out and bang some smack and then just gouch out. And he'd be the only one there, all jangled because of the crack. And he thought, yeah, there's something missing from, I'm missing a part of this puzzle. So then he got on the smack as well. So he's got millions in the bank. He's still earning. He's going to like red carpet do affairs and that. He's getting awards, but he's now got a serious crack and heroin problem. I mean, I don't think I really needed to say serious, did I? And he wrote a book about it. It's called Permanent Midnight, right? And it's fucking brilliant. It really is one of the better of the I was a junkie sort of books. There's a lovely scene in it. It's 2:00 in the morning. He's looking after his kid. Well, he's not actually, clearly, but he needs more crack, but he doesn't want to leave his 2-year-old at the house on her own. So he takes her to this trap house. And while he's in there waiting for his crack, and anyone here who's ever been on the crack or the brown, you ain't getting that as quick as you want it. You want it yesterday, and they're going to, if you haven't read my Substack, Reggae Source, give that a read. I'm a writer, link in the description, top link, Substack. Go and read after this stream, Reggae Source, and you'll see the sort of things crack dealers do. I've waited like 2 hours while the bloke's got it in front of him. He's got all his rocks and he's just making you wait because they're arseholes. And while he's waiting, this sort of African American sort of lady of the night. She's like, "Oh, what a beautiful baby you got. Let me hold your baby." Well, she didn't speak in English African. And Jerry Stahl said to her, "I wouldn't let someone in a trap house hold my baby." And she says to him, "I wouldn't bring my baby to a trap house." Touche. What's his name? Hang on. Not Jerry Stahl. Who's the bloke with the big ears who's the comedy actor in America? Stiller, Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller, executive producer, made a film of Permanent Midnight, which I was so looking forward to, because Permanent Midnight is it really is a great book. If you're into that kind of reading, read Permanent Midnight. What a lovely title as well. And Ben Stiller cast himself as Jerry Stahl. Can you imagine? It's so embarrassing. There's a withdrawal scene, and he's there and he's going, oh, and you're just going, what the fuck is going on? A terrible bit of casting, but he paid for the movie. I mean, the vanity on it is just shocking. I'll make this film as long as I can be the lead. Jerry Stahl then wrote another book called Perv, P-E-R-V, as in pervert. But the subtitle is A Love Story. So it's called Perv, A Love Story. And it's actually better than Permanent Midnight, but it's about his younger years. And he's about 14. He's at school, and there's word that there's a girl at the school that you can fuck if you want. Now, unfortunately, and I mean that, most schools had a girl that would let you fuck her. We had one at my school. There was one night, hang on, let me just mute it. That was so psychosomatic. The memory come back to me in it. I nearly suffocated myself. There was one night, there was me and two mates. Yeah, I'm not going to go into the rest of that story. But the first scene in Perv, A Love Story, he goes round this girl's house, and she hasn't got a mother, she's only got a father, and he's out. And so Jerry Stahl's just sort of going, he's a virgin, you know, but he's thinking, this is it. And he, at some point, he just goes, can we... Blog says Simon Webb. Oh, there was no oysters there, though. I keep them dry, man. That's gross. That's that's a great call, Bill. It's awful, isn't it? You're watching his video and you're thinking, any second now. I'm not even going to fake it. I got a problem with mucus. I think it's a good problem to have. It's not a very nice substance, is it? Cheers, Bill. Anyway, they're having sex and the condom falls off, and they're in the front room of her house and the condom falls off, and he's like, you know, he's out of his depth, you know, he doesn't know what's going on. He knows that half the school has fucked her. And Baz, I arranged to interview him when his channel was tiny. And then we done a dry run and he didn't have the equipment. His equipment couldn't do it. And so we cancelled it. And then, do you remember the Reaver? The Reaver, he went to me, he went, oh, well, I'm interviewing Simon Webb next week. And I was like, fucking hell. Maybe Webby just didn't take to me as a person. And I had an hour of, I was crying with laughter. It was such a bad interview. There was about an hour. Hello, James. Hello, Vincent. There was about an hour. No, well, not an hour. There was about 10-second delay between what they were both saying. And I could see Reaver just getting so embarrassed. It was, I felt for him, but at the same time, because he was kind of like, oh, well, I'm interviewing him. I was like, well, there you go. That's what you get for bragging. Anyway, back to Jerry Stahl. So the girl says, you've got to get that out. You've got to get that condom out. And he's like, well, how? And she says, well, just put your hand up there and grab it. So he's sort of like, you know, and he's fiddling around in there. And, you know, when you're 14, you don't really know what's up there. Anything could feel like a condom. And he's pulling at things and she's like, oh, no, not that. And then the alcoholic father opens the door because it's his house and his front room. And his 14-year-old daughter's naked on the floor with her legs open. And Jerry Stahl turns round, elbow deep into her. Oh. It's amazing, though, because I won't tell you what happens, but what you think. Yeah, hello, Bertie. Yes, that everyone knows who the oyster flinger is. But what actually happens is quite sweet, quite a lovely bit of writing, because he doesn't give you what you think you're going to get. Hello, Mr. Gold. Good Lord. Good gold. Nice to see you. Right, where are we? Hang on. Let me check my revenue streams. Hang on, I can close that. I can close that. I can close that. I can do that. Hang on. This will have the chance of stopping my. Oh, come on. There you go. Right, lovely. Right, so that's Jerry Stahl, a very funny bloke, a very good writer. Yeah, there's something going on there, isn't there? He always mentions he went out on his kibbutz and he lives there. And you know, I mean, the truth is, I don't know enough about Israel and Palestine and Gaza to talk about it. And that's why I don't talk about it. I don't know enough about it. And I'm not really motivated to spend the time learning. Maybe I should. Maybe I will one day. What I really want is someone who does. Maybe I'll talk to Horus. Me and Horus tend to talk about football. Well, there you go. Maybe we met up, didn't we? It was me and you. And you got one of these, didn't you? Was that right? Saved the day, didn't it? Boris, thank you, Glass. Anyway, while I have a quick wee and while I top my water bottle up, not at the same time, I get it wrong every time. So it was Skin Scar that I must have met. It must have been Skin Scar. Yeah, apologies. We had this problem the other day, didn't we? Right. Let me just make sure this is the right one. Oh, not at that speed. Imagine I played it and ran off to the toilet and you had to watch the whole thing in half speed. Jerry Stahl is not a stand-up comedian. He's a writer. And that's what makes this so funny, because you know it's a true story because he just tells the story. Let me make sure it's the right one. Hang on a minute. I don't think that's the one. After that massive build, I really want you to watch this because it's very funny. It's got to be that one, though. Maybe if I go to the end of it. It's got to be that one. The audio isn't great. Right, that's it. Right, tell me if the audio is all right, because if it's just painful to listen to, I won't bother. Oi, you're on the wrong channel. You're on the wrong channel. Oi, next Thursday coming, I've got a live lounge on Lockpicking Legend with Lady Locks. But I'll put out an advert beforehand. Lovely to see you here, man. Right. I think I can start it from about there. But tell me whether this is unbearable, because if the audio is that bad, I don't want to impose it upon you. But it's a cracking story. It's only about 10 minutes long. I'll look for your comments in the audio, and if it's no good, but listen to it though, because it's really funny.
All right, I'm just let the cat out of the bag now and say I was a heroin addict for a little while. And this is a story about how in the early 90s, I made the decision to try and get off heroin by doing crack. It's a controversial method. It's not been approved by drug czar General McCaffrey at this point, but it made sense at the time because at that point in my life, I've been thrown out of my marriage, lost a house, lost a kid. I got fired from writing for Twin Peaks for turning in scripts with blood on them. So I ended up basically nowhere to fucking live. So I took what little money I had and I said, I'm going to change everything. And I moved up to rustic Laurel Canyon in Los Angeles. And I found a nice kind of big room in the bottom of a house where the people upstairs, a really nice couple, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus, really nice. And the place I moved into was like a 360 view, glass everywhere, view of the woods. I was going to jog, you know, everything's going to be different. Unfortunately, I was still strung out like a lab rat, so, you know, the jogging thing went first. But then I said, you know, the crackheads I knew really didn't have heroin problems, so I made the decision to get into crack. And what happened was instantly things got chaotic, as things tend to do on crack. My life developed a pattern where basically like 5 times a night I would drive downtown to Los Angeles to cop, so I'd have enough for the night. Then, of course, I would run out immediately, and I would have to come home. And the reason I had to come home was because I had to take a shit every time I coughed. And the reason it was really bad is that at that point, my diet consisted only of tubular foods, like Cheese Whiz, beef jerky. And since I didn't want to do opiates, and crack makes you really fucking paranoid, as some of you might have read, I was doing Robitussin DM, nighttime formula, to calm myself down, which is this blue liquid which goes right through you. I was like spraying the toilet, electric cobalt, rushing back downtown, coughing more, coming home, spray painting the toilet, and it was a life, you know? In about 2 weeks, things got really chaotic, really bad. And one night, about 4 in the morning, you know, in the middle of the woods, I take off my driver. This is my landlady waving at me in her nightie at 4 in the morning. And of course, I pretend I don't see her. Because I figure, fuck, I'm busted, I'm in trouble. But, you know, nothing's going to stop me. I go down, I cop, I come back, there's police cars. I'm fucked. It's over. So I drive up the hill, I like, you know, sleep in the woods, skulk back down the next morning. And actually, it wasn't about me. Her husband had had a heart attack. And she was flagging me down to try and get me to take him to the hospital. And he died. Mysteriously, I got evicted after that. But I didn't know for a while because I never opened my mail and I couldn't answer the phone because it was always bad news or weird little voices or the phone wasn't really ringing or, you know, something to that effect. So what I ended up doing was moving into my Cadillac. At that point, I had this sort of 1983 piss test yellow executive Cadillac, a really unfashionable year, you know. This was the kind of Cadillac that comes with the proviso that you must wear white shoes and a white belt in order to drive it, you know, the full Cleveland. So I moved downtown and instantly I know I'm in trouble because there's no bathroom. So within like a day of sleeping in my car, looking for places to relieve myself, I get the bright idea, I better get some adult diapers and Depends. And I'm just going to tell you right now, there's really no more crippling humiliation than being busted shoplifting Depends, which is what happened to me. However, I made it out of the store, and perhaps the second most humiliating thing is realizing somebody's watching you as you're sitting in your Cadillac putting on an adult diaper. So there was this sort of snaky African-American fellow looking in. You know, he's totally like, you know, he doesn't give a shit. All he says to me is, hey man, I know where to, you know, he knows that I obviously want the same thing he does. You know, I know where to get, you know, the good rock, I know where to get the good shit. You know, I know where to get a checkout from the neck up, you know, all that shit. And, you know, so he gets in the car with me, and instantly, you know, begins my life of crime. You know, I know he's a good guy because he's still got the plastic LA County jail bracelet on. You know? He's been sprung that morning, you know, Calvin. And so the crime that he, you know, I'm like down now, I'm gonna be like, you know, homeboy. Well, the crime, you know, he busted me into is like, we're gonna shoplift canned goods from Ralph's or A&P or whatever you have here, and put a dent in them and take them back. So, you know, not exactly good fellas, but you gotta start somewhere. You know? So the first thing I do, you know, I'm smuggling out that $1.89 Dinny Moore beef stew, you know, putting a dent in it, taking it back, getting my $1.89. You know, it's really work. Unfortunately, it takes a little while to make bank when you're doing the can stand, you know. So, you know, finally at the end of the day, we get enough, we get all fucked up, we're driving, smoking the car. So we're driving by the Cecil Hotel, which in LA is this notorious sort of SRO, you know, fucked up nightmare hotel downtown. And this guy comes tooling out of the fucking hotel, carrying like 3 beige rotary phones with the wires trailing, followed by some like Indian guy with a hoe, like chasing him. And my man Cal says, yo, there's Delmore, get him in the fucking car, now. So we open the door. This guy jumps in the car, it's like we planned, you know, the big fucking like rotary phone robber. This guy dives in the car. You know, we take off downtown, you know, and suddenly I've got 2 felons in the back seat, you know. And the deal is, his friend Delmore is like, you know what, man, a lot of guys don't steal phones. Let me tell you, we get $9 for those motherfuckers, you know. So his whole thing, he goes to the hotel, he knocks on the door, and like, you know, people open up, he fucking dashes in, clicks the light, and steals the phone. He has totally got this to himself. It's his own racket. So these guys get the bright ideas. This is just like them and, you know, white boy me, you know, we'll be fucking the guys who like, we're going to find some like 18th Street gang, you know, who's selling crack on the corner. We're going to rip them off. You know, I'm going to pull up and they're going to hand it to me. Mind you, this weird dynamic starts happening right away, which is Calvin starts slapping me in the head every 3 fucking minutes. You know? It's like, yo, bitch, I need some fucking water. Pull over, you know? Like, I don't really give a shit because I'm focused, you know? I just want the drug. I don't care about my reputation. What do I fucking care, you know? I just want the drug. I got a job. I don't have to think. No gray area. So what happens is, you know, we start doing this gig. You know, the first time we do, we pull up. I'm in a Cadillac. They're hunched down in the back. The guy, you know, the kid sticks his hand in with the rocks. I grab him. We take off. Boom, rock. Somebody throws a fucking brick through the back of the window, shattered everywhere. I'm taking off, you know, I'm totally adrenalized. It's like the greatest rush of my fucking life. I immediately want to do it again. So we're smoking this crack, we're sitting in the car, I'm all fucking tweaked out. And it's like, man, I want to do it again, you know? So we go around the corner. This time, we're already a little suspect having a blown out rear window, you know? And, you know, plus all these motherfuckers are born with cell phones, so you know, like little Pepe was calling the other cholo in the other corner, and that's it, you know, they fucking know. Some white boy with bad teeth is like trying to rip us off, you know. Stay down for that. So I go to the next place, same thing. They stick the fucking rocks in the window, boom, I take off. This time it's like, booyah, you know, I get fucking shotgunned, it misses us, we take off, we're tooling out of there. I've got the crack pipe lit in my mouth, there's rocks everywhere, 2 felons in the back seat. We're driving away at top fucking speed, it's like rush hour in Los Angeles. We're on Wilshire Boulevard, going west for no apparent reason. I'm smoking crack, the rock falls out, still burning, lands on my dick, starts to burn. I've got like scorched scrotum hair. I'm fishing around. I slam into a bus. Instantly, my car is accordion, black smoke pouring out. Calvin and Delmore, it's like the Flintstones to them. It's like the funniest shit they've ever fucking. Hey, bitch, you're a really good driver, man. You know, snapping me in the fucking head. And you know, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I'm taking my like accordion, you know, El Dorado, you know, tooling left, and we gotta fucking get off the street. We don't know where the fuck to go. And I realized the one like white thing I have left, I declared bankruptcy with American Express, upon which they promptly sent me an Optima card. You know, figure it out. So I tell these guys, and I want to be down with the fellas. So I tell them, like, you know what? I didn't want to say nothing, man. You know, who's this motherfucker in a brown Beamer? And I fucking rolled up on him. I pulled him out. I took his fucking wallet. You know, his wife had the ice around her neck. That bitch wanted to go with me because I'm like Uzi Machismo. Look, I got this credit card. Gerald Stahl. What kind of a fucking name is that? You know? You're like, yeah. You know, I mean, at this point, the only way anybody would give me their wallet is if I would threaten to breathe on them. You know, I'm like 83 pounds, yellow teeth, high fucking green skin, you know, the whole 9 yards, and I'm wearing a diaper. So throw that in the mix, because by now, you know, I've experienced seepage. You know, I've got like blueberry blue stains in the seat of all my pants, you know. It looks like I've sat in a series of pies, you know, in the county fair pie sitting contest, you know. So, you know, anyway, I'm driving away, you know, it's like the middle of the fucking day, you know, I've got the credit card, so we decided to go to a motel, you know, we check into some like travel lodge, you know, one of these like fucking 18 bucks, 25 bucks a day kind of downtown things. And this, you know, finally, you know, I'm drinking my Robitussin, you know, they're crashed out, you know, they're in the bed, I'm on the floor, you know, and suddenly in the middle of the night I have this moment of clarity. This is what my life has come to. There's like 3 leaking canned hams over in the corner, you know, where we tried to dent them too hard, you know. 4 fucking beige rotary phones over in the corner. A pair of African-American felons in my bed, and I'm wearing a diaper, you know. It's like, you know what? The madness has got to stop. You know, I need a full Susan Powder at this point, you know. Stop the madness, you know. So I sneak out, it's 4 in the morning, I somehow putter back to Hollywood, I park the car behind the Exxon station, crawl off to fucking sleep it off, I come back the next day, the car is gone. Somebody has stolen my accordion Cadillac. And at this point I remember the second white thing I still have, which I have insurance. So I call up Allstate and I say, you know, I had this unfortunate thing happen, my Cadillac has been stolen, and you know. I reported to the police, I'm a good citizen. It's like a day later, you know, I get this call from like policewoman, you know, Marjorie Goodfella again, you know. She calls me up, she says, you know, Mr. Stahl, it's really sad what happened. I said, well, what happened? You know, we found your car. We think it was stolen. I said, well, what happened? She goes, well, it looks like drug addicts. Rocks on the car, paraphernalia everywhere, syringes under the seat. And she goes, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, that's really heartbreaking. I love that car. You know, at this point, we're just a couple of people talking about how darn wrong the world has gone. You know? We're commiserating, you know? It's like, so I called my insurance company. They're very nice about it. They decided to cut me a $5,200 check. And like a month later, not a month, like a week later, I get the check and I realize, you know, it's time for a change. I can't go on living like this. I take the $5,200 and I spend it on heroin. And it all worked out. Thanks a lot.
It's lovely to be back. I love that story. I love Jerry's style. It was weak content just to play someone else telling a story. But in that 12 minutes, I managed to get 12 minutes away from that migraine light. I made myself a pint of tea, topped up my water, and had a wee. And so it worked well. It went well. It turned out nice. I mean, I can't believe I actually gained some viewers. And we're back. And we are back. Right. I might as well actually, that diaper thing, for people who don't know, and I thought Depends is an American brand of nappy. Americans call nappies diapers. But I've lost count of the amount of people I know used to wear diapers out. Weirdly, it's alcoholics who tend to do that. The first progression is they carry like 5 pairs of pants out with them every day because they've got no control down there. And after their sort of 10th pint and 30th vodka bottle of by midday, it's just and so they go into the boozer toilet and take the old pants off, dip their jeans in the sink, put it under the air hand dryer. I know the details quite well because this actually happened to me. And then I tore the arse out of my trousers. And later that day, I went around some bird's house. And as I was sitting there, she said, have you ripped the arse out of your trousers? And I was like, yeah. Yes, I have. She said, here, I'll sew them up. I was like, no, you're all right. She went, what do you mean you're all right? She said, this was in Dean Street in Soho. She said, I take it you're out tonight. I said, yeah. She said, you can't walk around with the arse hanging out your trousers. I said, no, I'll go and see a tailor. She said, yeah, but she said, I've got a needle and cotton. So I've given her the trousers that are still damp from dipping them in a sink and trying to dry them a little bit under a hand warmer because I shit them. And, but yeah, crackheads and alcoholics will finally move on to just wearing nappies under their jeans because it's just easier. It's a fucking rough life, man. It's a rough old life. But if you like that sort of thing, I do suggest checking out Permanent Midnight. When all that was happening, he was a multi-millionaire Hollywood screenwriter. That's the mad thing about it. You know, you'd think if you were a successful writer and it's done, it's all done. You've got money, you had a family, you had a beautiful wife, lovely kid, and it all went very, very bad. October says, what about the upsides? Yeah. Blog says, an old man at the bar told me you're not a real Guinness drinker if you haven't shit yourself with a black one. That's nice. I mean, you know. Baz says that he hung around with the wrong crowd who enabled his ego. What about his wife, though? Yeah, she left him in the end. Absolutely right, DJL. Ketamine, a lot of people don't know this. It will take about 2-3 years of steady ketamine use for you to end up having a colostomy bag. The amount of 22, 23-year-olds I've seen in rehabs over the years with a colostomy bag that they'll have for life because ketamine just shreds to pieces all those tubes and pipes. Yeah, it's not good stuff. I find it bizarre that isn't more well known. You know, loads of people do ketamine. A friend of mine used to race dogs at Crayford Bags, and we used to get that, what was it, Ketaset, liquid ketamine, and you just pour it on a plate, put the plate in the microwave. Don't ever do this. 10 seconds, and when you bring the plate out, the first time you do it, you think you fucked it because it's all gone. And you're like, oh, fuck. But then as you're about to throw that plate away, it tilts in the light and you see this sort of sheen. And then when you scrape that up, there it is. And then you can just snort it. But with all narcotics, you start building up a tolerance. And there's that one day when you think, this stuff's made for injection. And that was one of the worst nights of my life. Nothing bad happened, but nothing good happened either. What I mean by nothing bad happened was I didn't go out or anything. I just laid on the floor, not knowing anything, just not knowing. It was just, I think I probably took, you're not meant to, humans aren't meant to intravenous inject ketamine. Yeah, I didn't know that, Emma. Maybe I forgot, but he said it right at the beginning there, didn't he? I mean, you'd think, aren't we weird things, humans? You're writing all these top shows that are doing really well, and like he said, he bought that place, had this 360-degree view, and if you're not happy inside, if you haven't got peace with yourself, money, relationships, all that stuff just won't cut it. You will distract yourself to that kind of extent. And I know he's telling the truth because the details are all there. He either hung around with junkies for 20 years or it's true. Just when you've got a rock on a pipe, they frequently fall off because you've either got galls or ash, because otherwise, if you haven't, when you put the lighter on the rock, it just melts and then it's all gone, and that's 20 quid. So you put a pile of cigarette ash. right, you run out of ash loads, yeah? So what you do, when you get home, you and your 2 or 3 mates with all your rocks, first thing, you go to the kitchen, you get 4 or 5 forks. You get them, you bend all the tangs or tines or whatever they're called. You bend all of them at different directions. You put them into the filters of 4 cigarettes. So you've got these 4 cigarettes like sticking off the edge of a fork. You put like a sheet of Baco foil, silver paper, what's it called? Silver foil. Baco foil is a brand. Put that under it, and you've got these 4 forks, 4 or 5 forks, each burning 4 cigarettes. And you've obviously got to have a little tug to get them going. And the whole house, you've got a little room in your bedsit that's got 16 cigarettes on the go. And when one of them is done, you get another one on it. And it's just fucking rank, man. What a life. This is absolutely humiliating. I was having the sex with this working girl one night in Soho. And she asked me to put on a pair of those sexy, I'll show you what they look like rather than you have to guess. Hang on. Oh God, am I actually going to share this with you? Looking at them makes it even worse. Let me get the most humiliating photo I can find. That'll do. Right, now you've got to remember, this girl I was with, she was a crackhead, so she was nuts. Crack will turn you nuts in 1 hour. It's not like, you know, most substances take a few years until you're one of those people on the street going up to people and asking them if they've got a spare sparrow or whatever. But crack will do it to you in like an afternoon, in an hour. You're mental after 5 rocks, especially once it's run out. You're all right when you're still doing it, but as soon as it's run out, it's hell. It's absolute hell. The only thing that's going to help you is loads of Valium. See, by the end of my crack phase, I'd work out that once I'd got to my last rock, I'd inject 20 mil of Valium or just eat about 10 tablets. So that by the time that last rock had run out, the Valium would kick in and I'd just sort of fall asleep in my own piss. But I was with this brass and we'd been on it all day, and we'd had sex in the bath. We'd had sex upside down on the stairs. You're even so bored with sex, you're just trying to do, oh, why don't you try and put your hand down into my throat and I'll hit you over the edge of a metal tray or something. Just nonsense. And at one point she said to me, she said, put my socks on, right? And it was a pair of these. A lot of brass wear these kinds of socks, right? Right? You know those little lace top socks, but they weren't white, they were pink, right? And she said, put my socks on. And I was sort of going, and I went, yeah. So she's taken them off. She's wearing them over stockings, so it's all a bit, yeah. So I put them on, and it's just not working, because what we need is more crack. And in the end, I said, look, fuck this. I'm going to go and get some more rocks. She was like, yeah. She was like, I'll come with you. And I went, no. No, you just sit tight. She was about 50, man. Rough. And so I've got dressed. I put on my joggers, got my army coat, put me a shanker on, like, pair of sunglasses, being sort of 2 o'clock in the morning. I've walked down Lexington Street. I've rung the bloke on the way. He's gone, yeah, 5 minutes. And I have to say, compared to heroin dealers, your crack dealers are usually on time, because they know the quicker they get there, the quicker you're going to get through it and the quicker you're going to come back. And I'm standing there and he's called me. He says, I'm going to be about half hour late. He said, the traffic is ridiculous. And I said, it's all right, don't worry, I'll be there. And I'm standing there outside of a gay bar on Rupert Street called The Yard. And I look down and I've got my joggers aren't reaching the bottom. And I've got these little fluffy pink lace top socks on and a pair of Reebok Classics, right? this stupid army coat, this Ushanka and these sunglasses, and I catch myself in it weren't a mirror, but like a window where I could see my reflection. And you know when you're not a mad drug addict, you're just normal, and you see people wearing really weird clothes, and they're sort of skittish, and they're pretending to do things that you wouldn't be doing at 2:00 in the morning, standing outside the yard in Rupert Street. It's a really weird sensation to see yourself in like a reflection and realize that you're one of those people. That, Soho's still busy at 2:00 in the morning. People would have been walking past me and sort of going, check out that crackhead socks. I was just there with my fucking sunglasses and that. Even the dealer said it. I've put my head in the car because he said to meet him round on Romilly Street. I've ducked my head in the car, and he went, no, man, he went, get in the fucking car, I ain't got time for all this. And I was like, no, you're all right. And I've tried to get in the back, and he's got, no, fuck, he's like, get in the front. I've got in the front, and I'm sitting there, and I've looked down, and as I've sat down, of course, my joggers have ridden up about 5 inches. So I've just got my sexy pink lace top socks in this fucking dealer's car, and he weren't holding back. He started laughing. He took photographs. This was what done it. I didn't give a fuck. I just give me the fuck. There's the money. Give me the crack. And he went, what the fuck? He got his phone out. Video. He was going, I thought, I don't care. What's he going to do? Show his mates? Nothing. Until he run the camera up my body and to my face. Now, admittedly, I've got my sunnies and my hat on, but it's still me. And I remember when all that crap ran out, I managed to get rid of that brass, got hold of some Valium. And right, here's another thing that happened before the end of that night. Me and this bird could not turn each other on. We couldn't have sex anymore, and we were both desperate to. I had one porn on one monitor, a different porn film on another monitor. I had a different porn film on my mobile that was like leant up against a coffee cup. Her mobile with a different porn film on it. A couple of magazines open at our favourite pages. I think some 1970s pack of porno cards, like, you could barely see them. They were so faded. And it was fucking horrible. I did manage to get rid of her, though. She was like, can I stay? And I was just like, no. But the worst thing about that whole night was in the morning, waking up, it wasn't all that porn, because that was all still going, because the Valium knocked me out. And when I woke up, obviously, porn doesn't stop, does it? It just goes on to the next one. I just remember, I was just sort of thinking, oh, fucking hell, that was hideous, whatever happened last night. And then it just sort of dawned on me that I'm on video with a pair of pink lacy top socks on, and I'd walked around Rupert Street with them. Fucking rough, man. Right, where are we? Oh, I've got a super chat. The grift has dried up, and it's only Anglo, who's been absolutely keeping it live, who's donated another one. I recently learned the price of... Oh, no, we've already had that one. Why did you... Was this something to do with your job as a butcher? Were you thinking of importing them from Pakistan? No, it is Anglo. I've never done much ketamine, crack or smack. I've done too much Charlie, MDMA, weed and beer, though. Yeah, you probably haven't done too much. So, I mean, all that, I'm not a fan of cocaine. I really, really dislike the stuff. But, if you like it, it was you doing it. I just find it makes people really unpleasant. Blog says, have you ever been my Dazzleland? I think I asked you before. No, it was me. Oh, yes, you said it, my Dazzleland. I was lucky Matt Hancock wasn't in charge. Morphine and midazolam. I worried they had just cleared my CMOS. Right, I'm going to put that on the screen for other people to translate. Is that the pre-surgery Let me get those fucking socks off the screen. Is that the pre-major surgery drug, midazolam? You know, I only ever, after all those party drugs in my late teens, I was only really interested in benzos, crack and heroin. All the rest of them were just, I don't know, just made you feel a bit stupid. Here we go. This is what the Niggler just wrote to me. Thanks a lot, though, Bill. I appreciate it. Blog says this. I mean, you'll have to work it out for yourselves, people, because have you ever been midazolammed? I think I asked you before, but that might be midazolam. It's the same drug, though, isn't it? I was lucky Matt Hancock wasn't in charge. Morphine and midazolam. I worried they had just cleared my CMOS. I don't know what CMOS is. Thank you, though, Bill. If you can fill us in on some more details, that would be handy. Anglo, have you ever been to work, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Have you ever been to work, you know, fictionally, after a proper night on it? Yeah, but you've been a butcher for a long time, so I suppose it wouldn't matter. I'm just imagining being up all night on Jack and Jill's and fucking Coke and then having to wake up and cut animals in half. I'll be like, nah. I can't do it. I can't. It's too much for me. Right. We had a massive diversion there, for which I do apologise, but I had to get away from that light for a few minutes and make a cup of tea. Let's actually get on to what I wanted to talk about. I think the West has had it. I think that, I mean, that doesn't actually mean anything. It's changing, and it's changing rapidly. And I think it's fair to say it's changing rapidly in a very negative way, especially for a certain ethnicity. I don't think people will have pensions. I don't think there'll be the money. All these people who've been paying money for pensions and that for decades out of their wages, that won't be there. They won't be able to afford to pay that, because they're bringing people in who haven't chipped in. So it doesn't work. You can't do that. You can't be putting people into hotels and paying millions and millions. And the figures that, you know, we've got the receipts. These people are a net drain on the economy, and expect to have money for things like pensions. And I didn't see, did anyone, thank you, Anglo, and thank you, Bill, for those last donations, by the way. Can someone confirm with me the hello, Colonel Custard? I didn't know you were here. Nice to see you, son. Hello, Mouse Cat. Amazing. How strange you said that. There you go. There you go. Yeah, exactly that. What is the retirement age in the UK at the moment, or the English at least? Because someone told me it's something like 74, and I just can't believe it. If anyone knows, I might as well Google it. 66. Now you can't stop. No, it's all very well if you've got some cush job. It's 66 for both men and women now. Oh, there's your equality. Enjoy it. I mean, that's just shocking. 66. Can you imagine? And you know why? Because native Brits have not been motivated to breed. As simple as that. You need to make more than 2 kids, or you're just keeping you die and they replace you. It's an aging population. And so, putting it up to 66 years old. What if you're a labourer? What if you're a bricklayer? What if you dig holes? You ain't going to get there. You are not going to get there. You know, I saw grafting kill my dad. You know, and then you're going to end up down the job centre. And when you say, well, I can't do it. I can't lift bags of cement. I mean, my back's like snapped in 4 places already for doing it for the last 30 years. So they sacked me. So can I have some dole? And of course, they're not going to have the money to hand out dole, sickness benefit, income support. Like when I was 18, all of those things were a piece of piss to get. I was on disability living allowance. It said because I was an heroin addict. Well, it said opiate. What? Ridiculous. You shouldn't be able to get welfare for being a drug addict. Oh, I don't want to work. I just want to take drugs. Oh, no problem. It's 400 quid a month. Madness. And so it's going to, I foresee this. This is a prediction. It's going to get to a point where one government is going to say there's no pensions. Or they'll give you a warning, you know, and they'll blame you. They'll blame the people. We just need to point out that in 3 years' time, there will be no more pensions. So what we advise you to do, and it'll be like, it's on you now, you know, start saving the pennies, the pounds will look after themselves. Maybe get some remote work and work for one of the countries that are doing well, which won't be the West because it's been drained. And I honestly believe this. This isn't just some, oh, let's make a video about this. I can't believe I'm 2 3/4 hours in. I'm only just talking about the video title. I think that artificial intelligence is sort of a historical materialist attempt. It's hard to explain it if you don't know what historical materialism is, but I'll pull it off. Don't worry about that. It's almost like civilization, Western civilization, is trying to find a way to hang on, to just hang on. So how do you do that? How do you make it? I mean, artificial intelligence is going to wipe the labour market off the face of the earth. Like, you know, it won't be, oh, the people who do this aren't going to be working. What you hear is, oh, artists, oh, ChatGPT can write books, and artists and illustrators, oh, Mid-Journey. There'll be plenty of work for writers and artists. They're not the people who are going to struggle. What artificial intelligence actually does is further back than that. It makes it so that you can manufacture things without needing so many humans. You don't need humans there to do the design work. You don't need humans to program the computers to do the design work, because AI will do it better. And so there's less money coming in. There's more people with no jobs. So what's the answer? Do less. Do less. Eat less. Stay in. I mean, AI is all about an inside life. You know, COVID was like a dry run. You know, can we get away with just staying in our houses and not visiting anyone? All these 15-minute cities and all that. Or, you know, self-driving vehicles, they're not for you and me. There's another word for those, taxi. But without a driver, fuck paying a driver. The car drives itself, probably better than a taxi driver as well, or better than any driver. So in a way, it's like culture through many different aspects has created a last dance, like it's grasping at straws as it falls down the whole of history. It's like, is there any way we can survive this? And I think that's what it's come up with. You won't need to go out. You won't need to go to restaurants. I mean, people, working class and middle class people rarely eat out anymore. because you can just get it delivered home. Working class people, I don't think I've seen a working class person cook a meal ever, like ever. And now you can just say to your computer, order me a pizza. And then what will soon happen, what will soon start happening is your computer will understand you and know what you want. You won't even have to tell it. You'll be sitting there one day and you'll think, oh, fucking hell, I'm quite hungry. And there'll be a knock at the door and there'll be a drone hovering. They're not going to pay people to deliver things. There'll be a drone there. They've already taken the money out your bank. You're like, oh, okay. I better take that then. and I mean this. I really do mean this. It's like a, to reprocess a society, a civilization, you need some really strong processing power. And wouldn't you know, that's what's happening. And there'll be another class of people who don't know what AI is. And they're not the poor people. The poor people, their lives will be absolutely dominated by it. It will be the rich people who let me tell you that I've got a perfect analogy. When I went to Venezuela, when you're flying in, I'm looking out the window of the airplane, and it looked like a Paul Klee painting, loads of little different coloured squares, tiny they were, because obviously we were very high up in the sky. And that went on for about 15, 20 miles. And my mate, who'd been to Venezuela a few times, and he paid for the whole holiday because he wanted to get me clean. Well, actually, he said, I'll take you on holiday if you get clean. So I went to a rehab, got clean, treated myself to a few bags of smack on the way home, I'd got clean. So it was like a treat. But of course, I was immediately back on it. But I didn't tell him until we got to Venezuela. And he went, you don't look too good. I was like, yeah, I got a confession. But Caracas, right? Caracas, one of the most dangerous places on the planet. Thanks for the holiday. Caracas city centre is these like gorgeous, beautiful, like amazing sort of skyscrapers, like mirror sides, gold sides. Imagine the Shard, but sort of all just amazing, like a modern city centre, and restaurants at the top of them that sort of spin and like do all this sort of shit. But at the edge of that, literally the edge of the city centre, I'll see if I can get a video or a picture up in a minute. Caracas city centre is surrounded in slums. I think they're called favelas or something. I think Brazil is the favelas, isn't it? Me and my mate, we tried to go into it. We walked up into it, and this old woman just said, no. She just said, that way. We were like, yeah, but we want to go up there. And she said, no. And this bloke come out of a room, and in his broken but quite good English, he said, you get about 10 minutes up there, you'll be leaving naked with nothing. I was like, yeah, that's fair enough. When we got to our hotel on Margarita Island, which is a cocaine port, we put our bags in our hotel and all that, and it was like, right, we need to get some rocks then. We've walked out of the hotel, we've turned right, and all the staff ran out of the hotel, and they said, no. They said, that way. They were like, that way. Like, you can't go that way. Nice holiday. Nice holiday. Let me see if a video would be amazing. My point being, you've got the poorest in society that had no water, no electricity, no what's it called? What's it? Sewage. What's that called? I don't know. I can't remember what that's called. They've got nothing. They've got these little tin houses. That's what those little squares were. Little beer advert roofs. These places have got. And then, you know, then there's like a ring road in the middle, and in the middle of that is this sort of modern city for the rich. You know, and there's people walking around in sort of like $5,000 dresses and like $100,000 jewelry, and you cross the road and they can't even afford to eat. And that is where it's going. That's where it's going to go, but digitally. So your housing estates in England, all the poor housing estates, no one will have cars because there's too many. Look at London. London, you watch videos of London like after the Second World War. Well, I mean, a few years after, so the rebuilding had happened. You know, there's cars driving around Piccadilly, around Eros and that. There's like 3 cars there. You go up there now, they're just like boot to bumper all the way, just like, fucking hell. So they built the North Circular and the South Circular, a ring road around London to ease the congestion. Well, what did that last? 20 years, 25 years? And then they built the M25 to ease the congestion from the South Circular and the North Circular. And another one's going to come. It will have to. Or you start killing people off. And there are other ways of doing that. I'm not saying there'll be stormtroopers running around gunning people down. But if you don't educate people properly, which state education was never meant to do, state education was always about making workers. The people, what is it? The Rothschilds, is it? I can never remember if it was the Rothschilds or the Rockefellers. But they said, we don't want a nation of thinkers. We want a nation of workers. So there'll be people living on fucking delivery pizza and other processed food that they don't even need to order because the AI has learned their schedule, and they'll die early. They'll die from malnutrition. They'll die because if you haven't got a reason to live, if you haven't got a drive and a motivation, you just give up. You know, you go into hospitals and most of the people with illnesses are people whose lives aren't going too well. Not all the time, but they're people who ain't got a lot going on. Whereas you can have people like Hubert Selby Jr., who nearly died at birth, had his lungs cut out, the backs of his lungs. Hubert Selby Jr. nearly died about 4 times in his life, like seriously. Then he got pneumonia on top of his only having half a lung left, survived that. But he lived until he was 80-something, I think, because he had a passion for life. Take that passion out of people's lives. Well, how do you do that? Well, you get them addicted to porn. You get them addicted to watching Mr. Beast and all that other trash that doesn't actually provide either education, entertainment, or anything. And that's it. That's what you do now. Oh, I want to go out. Well, there's nowhere to go. And the ruling classes, they're absolutely having it off. I think that this isn't definitely going to happen. By the way, there could be changes. If Trump doesn't win this election, I don't think we ever see. Maybe like 100 years or civil war or something. You're unlikely to get another Republican government because they're just importing voters, as are the UK. You know, it's easy, isn't it? Come here, give us free. We'll give you free stuff, and you vote for us. If you don't vote for us, look at that lot. They're saying they're going to stop giving you free stuff, and they're going to start ejecting you. So that then becomes a one-party state like China. People talk about the Chinese credit score system. Oh, we've got that in England. That exists in England. Of course it does. It's almost worse because it's like a Trojan horse. It's almost worse because it's sort of hidden. Oh, look at those Chinese. Awful the way they treat their population. Well, it's the same here. You know, you might have broke the law 20 years ago, but you still can't do loads of things because of that. Let me see if I can get you There you go. Nice one, Anglo. Very, very kind. Rockefellers it was. There you go. They urged and lobbied for women to work, single-handedly diminishing whitey and doubling taxes. Amazing, yeah. And but they didn't even hide it, Anglo. That's the thing that blows my mind. They said that state school was to educate people enough so that they could do manual labour. They did not want to educate people. They wanted to create workers and maintain that class distinction. And wouldn't you know? Amazing. Thanks for clarifying that, and thanks for another very generous donation. Thank you, Anglo. Hello, Special K on Acid. Edward Bernays made it happen. Certainly had a part to play in it, without a doubt. But you can't. For people who don't know, Eddie Bernays, as people in the firm call him, was also known as Special K. Do you know what it is? I've forgotten the name of the road. There was the road with all the advertising agencies in America. Oh, I nearly had it. Something Avenue. Anyway, Sigmund Freud's nephew, I think. And him and Thingy Dicta, they done all the depth probing with advertising and marketing, and they were the first people in the middle of the 20th century who said, don't appeal to people's intelligence to sell them stuff, appeal to their emotions so that they don't get to make a choice, so that they think they're making a choice, but they're actually emotionally responding to the advert or the marketing. And that's well been proved. I know I've recommended this book a million times, but the Hidden Persuaders by Vance Packard, you'll read it in an afternoon, and it tells you all about that story. But the thing is, you can't appeal to those broken emotions unless the emotions are broken in the first place. They certainly had a part to play in it, without a doubt. But there was already a foundation that the likes of Bernays and Dicta were built on. But I think I've kind of explained it wrong. I'm not saying that AI is a negative thing. I mean, it's just technology. But I'm starting to see it as almost a way for the West to survive. And I'm not saying that Nvidia and Microsoft and Tesla and Amazon want the West to survive. They don't give a shit where their money comes from. You know, Karl Marx talked about continental labour shifts a couple of 100 years ago. It doesn't matter to them. As long as the money's coming from somewhere, fine. But it's almost as if it's like a last gasp. You know, we all know where Western Europe looks like it's going. I mean, there are signs that it might not go like that. I mean, I saw an article the other day about the AfD in Germany, right? We all know the AfD in Germany. If you don't, go and look them up. And it said the AfD are growing at a worryingly or frighteningly rapid pace in Germany. Should they be banned? What? More people are supporting them, so you're going to ban them? Is that a democracy? It's fucking nuts. But there are little signs like that. But, we know what happens when people make a lot of promises, because that's what you have to do on a campaign. And when you get into power, most radical, most parties that offer or suggest radical change, they tend to rein themselves in a bit. But I'm kind of seeing, the way culture comes about. We all know about the zeitgeist. It's weird how someone living 2,000 miles away from someone else is making a very similar music, even though it doesn't exist yet. There is a cultural zeitgeist, but technology has a touch of that about it as well. Look at the whole Oppenheimer thing. The reason Oppenheimer got on board was because the Nazis were going to make an atomic bomb, and if they made it, the Americans dropped 2 of them on civilian targets. That was after firebombing civilian targets, which actually done more damage. But so, when you look at, go to the internet and look at ChatGPT and Midjourney or all the sort of, these things are like, when you're going to paint your house, you get the little booklets of paint colors and you take them home and you sort of hold it up. Not that I've ever painted a house. And, you go, that's what your ChatGPT and your Midjourney and all that, and DALL-E and Sora, that's what they are. That's just sort of like get people used to it. I'm not saying that AI has been invented to sort of round up the lumpen proletariat. I'm not saying that at all. Quite the opposite. I'm saying that AI has happened because the West has lost its way. And so it's almost like a zeitgeist thing where, people who've got kids, especially, I've just had a mate who's moving out of Dartford, and you can probably guess why he's moving out. And I said to him, he's probably going to catch up. He's gone somewhere that's 98% more like him. And I said to him, I bet you're well chuffed, don't you? He said, well, sort of. He said, but I've got 3 kids. And, that would terrify me. Imagine having 3 kids. And so when things are proposed to you where you don't have to go out, you don't have to go out into that world that the governments have fucked, that is hostile, that is dangerous, and most of all is anti-you. No, you don't have to. It's almost like it's the groundwork upon which a normal house now becomes a safe house. Get as much security as you can, lock those doors up, fucking get that glass out of those windows or make it bulletproof or something. Get a couple of bull terriers. And that's why people are taking to it. People are taking to this new technology that will mean they can, look, Zuckerberg's not an idiot. Look at what he's doing. He's creating a world that means you don't have to go outside. In his world, in the metaverse, you can go into a shop and buy something, and later that day, it arrives at your real house. Now, why would people want that? Why would you want that? Because it's looking like the better option at the moment. Now, I am being a bit hyperbolic, and deliberately so. But I do think there's something in this. I do think there's something in there, because companies don't spend this amount of money on software and hardware unless they think the public are going to get involved with it. Clive Sinclair probably spent about 30 quid developing the ZX Spectrum, whereas Nvidia is like, I think Nvidia's currently worth, its market cap is something like $2.4 trillion. They make fucking GPUs. Mousecat, nice one. He says this: I'm really upset with my fellow white folk of late. They sold us out. Even my own Gen X generation. It's our kids that hate us the most and are going out of their way to finish us off. I think it's complicated. Thank you for the donation, Mousecat. I think it's complicated because, this has been going on since Blairite socialism. you know, that keep people busy. Life, you know, it weren't that long ago that life was quite simple. You know, I can remember as a kid, life was quite simple, but now even to do the simple things, it's like, fucking hell, fill this in, send this, I want 3 forms of identification, do this, do that. And you're doing that nearly all the time. I can remember when my old man wasn't working, he had time to do nothing. But people, it's like people haven't got that now. When they're not working, they're doing other things they have to do to sustain a life. You know, I talk to people in their teens. I think I told you the other month, do you all go down the boozer at the weekend and that? And they're like, no. What do you do then? Play games, sit at home, play games. Strange times indeed, really strange times indeed. I'm just going to check. Hang on, no, I'm going to... Eleanor Walmsley, we're heading into frightening times, but we are also coming out of frightening times. So, you know, bear that in mind. We might all be heading out to you in Cambodia. The UK looks like 1990s Russia, full of communism. There's a thank you, Eleanor. That's very kind. There's quite an unsubtle difference though between England and the fall of the Soviet Union. You know that they were still Russians. Oh God. Done that one. Thing is though, Mousecat, did we do anything? I mean, you know, I made a few videos and that, but they fuck you up. They fuck you up. You know, as soon as they said to me, as soon as they said in the Times he was grooming teenage Nazis, I thought, fuck this. You know, this could screw my life up. This could fuck me up. And it's all very well saying, yeah, but if everyone was doing it, but everyone doesn't do it. Most revolutions are like 9% of the population. People only join in when there's enough numbers for them to think, oh, I suppose it's worth a risk. And that's why the left is so strong, because, you know, there's not a lot of them, but there's enough of them. You know, that sort of 9-10% number. Skin drops a lady, educate everyone enough, then jetpack them up to get higher education and be lumped with debt only to pay you enough in a job to not have a pension. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. You know, all the students, thank you, Skin, all the students I've talked to, whatever you're studying, you have to do all the racial bias stuff, you're a sexist stuff, whatever course you're doing. You know, you're just some clever mathematician who turns up at some university. You look at your timetable, and it's kind of like white supremacy. What? I've got to do a course on that. Come down here, and then you've got to do Black history. What? I'm here to study calculus. It's absurd. But don't worry, at least you'll have a 70 grand debt. And people don't want to employ students. People don't want to employ students now because there'd be too much fucking problems. You don't want people walking around your office. So, you know, when someone comes in and go, God, I got so pissed last night, I ended up with this bird. Bird? Well, I'm taking you to court. What? And you're expected to pay for it because you're the boss. Fuck that. Are you university educated? Yes, I am. Okay. Nope. Okay, I'll see. You'll be hearing from us. Anglo Rothschilds funded both the British and the French during the Napoleonic Wars. Amazing. It's like I always get this slightly wrong. I can't remember. I think J.P. Morgan funded the Russian Revolution. Now, it wasn't the same trick as the Rothschilds, just playing both hands. But I've told so many commies this, and they just like can't compute. They fund. I mean, to have a revolution, you need money. You need money for weapons. You need money to move around and tell people. You need money for propaganda, all that stuff. You need money for security. And I think it was J.P. Morgan. It was one of those big American bankers anyway. And if someone wants to look it up, that would be handy. And they said they'd done it because they wanted to destabilize the Soviet Union. So they funded the communist revolution. It's incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but the way the world works, and I'll be honest with you though, as I get older, the less it bothers me. And I know that might sound a little bit dismissive and a little bit kind of blasé and flippant. But as I've got older, I've realised there's less and less I can do about it. And these things things tend to happen organically. My reading of history shows me. I mean, yes, you do need leaders. You need people with balls, or the other. But even then, you need to have the right kind of social relations to make it happen. And at the moment, the left have got that. That's just where that pendulum is swinging. Thank you, Anglo. Thank you, Skin. Thank you, Mousecat. Thank you, Anglo again, and Eleanor. I'll just check entropy. Blogs is in entropy. He says this. This is what the Niggler says. Based on what you just said, Mouse and I are wondering if you painted that wall behind you. It does look like denim jeans you've repeatedly splinked on. That's water damage. I love it though, to be honest with you, because every time someone comes here to buy this place, I let them know, because I don't want the owner to sell it, because when the owner sells it, I'll get chucked out. And I'm all right here for another 6 months. I'm going to move in with my missus, but not for a while. But it's weird because the landlord speaks. Not my actual landlord is subletting. That's what he does. He rents a load of properties and then rents them out to other people a few £100 more a month. And he's a decent bloke, actually. I quite like him. But when people come around to look at the property, like there's nightclubs around here and like live music sometimes over the weekend and even midweek. But if I say that out loud, the actual owner is going to get proper pissed. But so I have to style it a bit. I'm like, do you like live music? Because you've got live music. They do like country and western. They do like, proper pub rock as well. Hendrix, Cream. You'll get that Friday, Wednesday, sometimes Monday. There's a nightclub there that's banging till about 5 o'clock in the morning. I'm saying this to like a 40-year-old couple, and I look round and the house owner's like, fuck them. Oh, people, I've done 3 hours and 20 minutes. I've reached my limit. I'm done. My voice is dying on me. I've run out of content. I've actually run out of words. I'm just tired now, I think, really. It's been a lovely stream, though. It's been lovely. We've had over 100 people in for the duration. What music do we want? Anglo, that's on you, because you've made a lot of... Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, Mr. Gold. Did I do the entry before that one? Let me have a look. Oh, no, I didn't. Sorry, mate. Eat bugs, stay in your pod, get chipped, jabbed, and wait for your maid kit delivery. I hope that isn't just another acronym you don't know and are too incurious to find out. I don't know what a made kit delivery is. No, I do not. Bill, if you'd like to tell me, I'm quite happy for you to tell me. People, hit the like button on the video. Thanks, Bill. That's very kind of you. We'll do cold hard steel, shall we, Anglo? I tell you what, by the time I got to the bit I actually wanted to talk to you about, I didn't have the energy to explain. So I might have to do that. All right, that's that wrapped up. Right, listen, I must admit there's been loads of the same people here. There's been over 400 people come through here while this stream's been on, but I've been keeping an eye on the chat, and loads of people have been here for the duration, and having not streamed for about a week, that makes me feel good. Medical assistance in dying. You should look into it. You could do a whole stream on this shit. I'll tell you what, Bill, I was looking at those. Have you seen those DNR tattoos? Do not resuscitate. People are having DNR tattoos. It says, do not resuscitate. And underneath it says, in the event of heart stopping, stop breathing, you know, there's various little things. Do not resuscitate. And then it's signed, tattoo signatures from like a doctor, a witness, the next of kin. Check out DNR tattoos on Google. Some of them are amazing. Anglo drops another one. In ever tasted water buffalo? I imagine it's tough being so muscly. I haven't eaten buffalo. But I told you about the cows out here, though. They look like they're starved, but they're not. That's just what a cow looks like. You know, they got acres of greenery. They have to be careful, though, because Cambodia's got more landmines live than any other country on the planet. So, you know, I think maybe those cows, we've never seen one that's fully fed, because every time one ventures off to the proper green grass, all the cockroaches are feasting on fresh cow for the next 2 weeks. Hello, Charlie. Nice one, Anglo. I did show you that video. They've trained rats, though. They've trained these rats to sniff out the bombs. And they're pretty good at it, too. Well, you'd hope so. It wouldn't be worth training them. There'd be a single-use mine identifying machine. Single-use mine identifying machine. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone who donated. Amazing. I'd like to thank Rags and the boy Cray. I don't know if either of them are here today. I'd like to thank Cranky Lockpicker for moving over from the other side to the dark side. I might see you Thursday, mate. I'd like to thank Emma Glass just because. And yeah, this is going to be cold hard steel. And I want to thank all of you lot, because without you lot, we don't have a stream. And I thought Sunday afternoon, I probably wouldn't have a lot of people, but over 100 for the duration. Absolutely wunderbar. I will be putting your comments on the screen as we end the show. Here we go.
He said you would. Tell your mama you're coming home. Over all of that deafening drone. But you realize you've been been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Feel the dawn of your final day. Feel the fear and go anyway. Get a ride in that big black plane. Kill your conscience along your brain. But you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord. Do whatever they tell you to. Tell yourself it ain't really you. But when the slaughtering has begun, you'll be murdering someone's son. And you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord. Yes, you'll realize you've been sold when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord. Cause the wheels already been rolled when you feel the enemy's cold hard steel. Oh Lord. Hey.
What out, Val? Fair play to Wolfie there. He said, hello to all the most delightfuls. I forgot about the most delightfuls. There's plenty of old scrubbisms. Listen, I can barely talk. Oh, listen, it was my plan to do this long stream and then an hour lifting weights and then do some writing. It's 20 past 11. That hour weightlifting is feeling a little bit unlikely. Might get 20 minutes in, but I'll get the writing done. You ain't been blocked, blogs, unless you're talking about by your missus. Oh, it was lovely to see loads of OGs in here as well. Absolutely fantastic. And you can retire at 66. Good Lord. Look after yourselves, people. Hoit! Oh, I fucked it. Hoita! I'm that, man.